into Beavers football, everybody. Stones McCoy here, and to bring you the play-by-play and the color commentary today will be Jordan and the Phantom. Take it away, guys.
And welcome into Beaver Stadium for the opening of the 2022 season. I'm Mark the Phantom Lowe here with Jordan Georgeson of the Gold Country Media. And we are very, very happy and excited to see the kickoff of the American River season. They'll take on the Sac City Panthers today. And Jordan, I know you've covered a lot of high school football. This is a junior college football. It's a little bit different. But basically, it's guys trying to find themselves or trying to be found by other people and get a more chance and have a future in this game.
Yeah, JUCO football has been a huge thing lately, and big thing with JUCO football now is a lot of high schoolers are going into junior college football right out of the gate, especially with the transfer portal and things like that. I mean, you're seeing more and more kids going to JUCO and end up trying to find their wings there.
Well, we're very excited, Jordan, to see the Sac City against American River College. American River College 6-5 last year. They made it to the playoffs and lost to City College of San Francisco. Sac City was 3-7, so they're looking for a bounce back here. And one of the great things about junior college football, Jordan, is that a lot of times the names change every year. Now, you have guys staying for 2 years, but a lot of times they'll play 1 year and leave to go to another school, or maybe they get picked up by Division I, II, or III schools. So you get to kind of reload every season, and that's kind of exciting because you and I were talking a lot of local names on this team, on both teams today.
Yeah, a lot of local names indeed. One of them I'm really looking out for is Kenny Lewith on American River. He's going to be the starting quarterback today. He had a season-ending injury last year with Rockland. That was a stacked Rockland team. He's getting the starting reins today. We'll see how he does in his first game back.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Rockland. A lot of Folsom players on the American River College team, and Sac City with some Monterey Trail and a lot of players from Elk Grove. We're going to have our national anthem here, so we're going to step aside. We'll be right back with more ARC football right after this on the Stones Radio Networks. And we are back after the national anthem. I believe Sac City is going to receive. Now, Jordan, one of the problems here with us starting, a new venture here, Stones Radio Networks, into the college football arena is that we don't always have the best communications lines. We do have the American River College defense, which we'll bring to you. But Sac City, so far, we have not communicated with them, so we'll be picking up their offensive linemen as we go, as we get started here. And really a lot of anticipation in the air for American River last year, 6-4 regular season, made it to the playoffs, lost to City College of San Francisco, eventual state champions. But they have a tradition here, and they are ranked 7th, I believe, in the top 25 in the state before the season. So there's a tradition that American River has got going the last 3 or 4 years.
Oh, yeah, American River has traditionally been a great junior college program out here. Really, Northern California as a whole has had some great programs. I mean, Sac City has had a few teams that has always competed. Sierra's had a few teams that are great. I mean, just great junior college football out here.
Okay, so Sac City coming out in their kick return formation, and there is American River College going out there. We'll try to pick up the number of our kicker. We think it's going to be number 49, Zach Schreiner, but we will confirm that as we are getting ready to start the 2022 junior college football season, and anticipation high on both sides. As we mentioned, Sac City 3-7 last year, but they know they have the horses, they have the players, and they have the they have the tradition as well to come back and get back in the playoff mix, and so they're looking to start that right now, and we are ready to get started.
And Sac City, I mean, JUCO football, your last year record with how much roster turnover there is.
Exactly.
You can take it with a grain of salt, but there are some guys here that remember last year, and ARC won this game 31-13. You got to think they're going to be eager to get one back on their rivals.
Great point, and we're ready to go, and here's the kick. Looks like it's taken by Sac City on the 5 up to the 10-20. Cuts off a tackler. Now still alive there at the 20, and then a nice tackle at the 23-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 23. For Sac City, we will pick up their quarterback as we are getting ready to start the first offensive series of Sac City's 2022 season. Trying to pick up the quarterback here. He's got one setback with him. Snap the ball, hands it to that setback, going back up the middle, and it'll get about 2 yards on the play. Gang tackled by American River College. So it is 2nd and 8 now for Sac City.
Looks like
so it is Ben Partee and Jordan trying to find the numbers of the guys, but for American River, a nice job on defense right there.
Yeah, great job on defense by American River. Stuffed it up the middle. I mean, still get a gain of 3, but
just a single back now. We think that is probably Trevon Frazier. In the shotgun is Partee. 2nd and 8 from the 25. He's going to turn hand off. Fake hand up. Hits a slant play. There was a little bit low on the delivery, and it's incomplete to the intended receiver. Just a little bit low.
Looked like that was Tendai Gundumara, and he looked like he almost wanted a flag there on the call. I don't think he was going to get one, though. It was a quick pass, not a lot of contact. I don't think you're going to get a PI on that.
Yeah, just too low on the throw on the slant. So it brings up the first third down, and 8 yards to go here. Just getting started. Sac City with Ben Partee behind center, hands it off to end around coming out here, and it looks like it's closed in by American River very well for almost no gain.
So a great run defense by ARC through that first series.
Good job by ARC. One pass was tried. It was incomplete, so the Beavers will take over on downs as the Sac City goes back to punt.
And the running game for Sac City, something that struggled last year as well. They averaged just 1.6 yards per rush and 45 rushing yards per contest. So that's something that, they're going to want to really improve on this year. And when you have a stat like that, really the only way to go is up.
Something to keep an eye on is a single back for the American River College Beavers. Back at about the 30-yard line. The punt is away, just barely, almost blocked. Pretty good punt. Probably going to sit at the 42. Now it's going to roll a little bit into American River College territory. A good roll for Sac City as that ball is picked up and down on the 28-yard line. So good defensive series for AR on that one, Jordan. And now they come out here with, we think, you just said, Kenny Lewis out here to take over and kind of come back. Last year, lost to injury, really eager to get started.
Oh, yeah, he was. And he had an incredible season at Rockland before his injury. I mean, he played, I believe, 3 or 4 games, and all 3 or 4 were running clocks in the second half. He was barely playing in the second half, and he was still throwing 3-4 touchdowns a game. So you got to think he's really itching and chomping at the bit to get back out.
Just a single back behind Lewis in the shotgun. I think that's probably Avante Jacobs back there. Turns to hand it to him. He does hand it to him. He goes right into the middle. He'll probably get about 2 yards on the carry.
Looks like we already got a little bit of chippiness between some of the players. No love lost between these two schools.
No, and I've all been practicing in the heat for the last 2 weeks, and they just want to go out and hit somebody that's not on their team. And Jacobs took that one straight back up the middle, set up a 2nd and 8 for the Beavers. Lewis from Rockland, Jacobs from Oak Ridge. Just the single back, split receiver out to the left side. Tight end goes in motion to right to reset. Now it is double slot out to the left side. Lewis takes hands off again to Jacobs. He's going to his right, cuts back, but he is stymied at the line of scrimmage. And that will bring up a 3rd and 8 for American River. 12:24 to go here in the first quarter. So happy to bring you junior college football on the Stones Radio Networks. We are putting it out on the American River College YouTube and Stones Radio Networks YouTube and Facebook. So we want to give you as many platforms as you can to watch American River football. And Jordan, just kind of settling into this game a little bit.
Yeah, definitely still settling in. College football, I mean, best time of the year in my opinion.
Yes.
And nothing quite like opening day 2 of college football. especially when you kick it off with a rivalry like this.
3rd and 8 in the shotgun is Lewis. He's back to pass, looking to his left. He's got a guy crossing across the middle, throws it high, and a good hit by the defensive back of Sac City to break up the play.
Yeah, it looks like that was Tien Fridge on the breakup there. Great football name right there, and he came in hitting him like a fridge on that.
Yeah, coming in from the left side, the flanker, the slant was a little bit high by Lewis, and then, as you said, Fridge closed the fridge door, turned out the light, and it'll be turned over on downs by the Beavers. Going back to receive 2 backs for the Panthers to receive the punt.
Looks like Chris Lands is the one that's deeper out of Monterey Trail High School. Another great football program from the area.
A lot of players on Monterey Trail out here on this year's Sac City team. Here's the punt. Pretty good looking punt. Got a lot of hang time. Or a fair catch is called for by Chris Lands. He makes it over right about the 25 or 24, 25-yard line. It'll be first down for the Sac City College Panthers. So, Jordan, we've had two series. Both teams really kind of uninspired as far as running the ball and missing on the only passes they've tried.
Yeah, the defense has been supreme in these first two series. And, first game of the year, you're going to have a few hiccups, a few games, a few plays to get in your rhythm, if you will. But I think this is one of those things where once the teams start to settle in, I think the ball's going to start moving. You're going to see some points.
Partee back in the shotgun for Sac City. 1 back behind him. He's going to hand off to that back who goes back off the left, breaks 1 tackle at the line of scrimmage and keeps up. He's hit by a couple of different guys. Might have got up to around the 29-yard line.
And I believe that was Trayvon Frazier once again.
Frazier, number 5.
Another Elk Grove area kid, but this one from Elk Grove High School.
Yeah, Elk Grove High, exactly. Elk Grove, Monterey Trail, even Bradshaw Christian down there. I think there's a couple of Valley kids also on the team for Sac City, so they're reaching down into South Sac.
Yeah,
Second down.
They've really built a recruitment, a tunnel, if you will, to a pipeline, I guess, for these Elk Grove schools.
2nd and 7. Partee, now he's hit from behind. The throwing ball goes backwards. It might be a live ball. I think it is, and it's covered by the Panthers. So tremendous crush in from the right defensive end position. Could be Ian Sloan.
I believe that was Kean Sloan. A great hit. I mean, poor Partee never saw it coming and gets blindsided on it. Perfectly timed. And ARC almost came away with a huge turnover right there.
So now it'll be 3rd down now, and it looks like about 14, 15 yards to go, as that was a live ball covered by the Panthers. Partee is back in the shotgun. 1 back to his left, that is Frazier. He's got 2 out to the left, 2 out to the right. Comes back, he looks like he's going right down the middle. Now, a lot of pressure, and it's going to be another sack for the Beavers.
I believe that was Keon again.
Keon Sloan.
Great job. Keon Sloan really causing some issues in that Panther backfield.
Sloan being joined on the front line by Deshaun Deems, also Malachi Ajayi, and Michael Sullivan, the first 4 defensive linemen for American River College, and I'd say so far mission accomplished.
Yeah, defensive coordinator's got to be smiling after those first 2 series by his Beavers.
And in the punt formation again is Sac City. Just a single back right around midfield for American River College. That's Robert Freeman. There's a good kick, but it's going to be short of the 50. Picked up by Freeman on the 48, cuts back up the middle, gets to the 40, to the 35, the 30. He's trying to get outside. Now he cuts it back in the 20, 25, and he gets all the way down right around the 12-yard line. So a great job by Freeman, a 36-yard punt return, and that puts the Beavers in prime position to get the first score of this season, Jordan.
Yeah, Freeman, great job there. Kind of did a little shifty move around midfield and then just turned on the burners. Great punt return. That's the type of thing that flips the momentum. Special teams, huge part of the game, and a huge play there by Freeman.
Yeah, Freeman, they starting wide out for the American River College Beavers. Took that punt, went all the way down, 36 yards. So it's first down on the, looks like on the 11, 12-yard line down there. Lewis still in at quarterback. He's got 1 running back by him, and that's Jacobs in the shotgun. He's back to pass right away. Looks into the end zone. Now he has to evade the rushers. Comes out of there. He's going to run it. Evades another tackler. Goes to the outside and probably picks up about 4 yards on the play. So Lewis showing a little bit of escapability there, Jordan.
Yeah, Lewis showing a good job there. Good heads-up play. The Sac City defense is going, especially with secondary, done a good job kind of containing these receivers, not letting them get open through a few pass attempts. but Lewis kind of kept his head on a swivel and was able to pick up a few yards and salvage play.
Seth Bozzi comes in at tight end, so a couple of tight ends. Grayson Barnes, the starter for American River College, so they have a couple of tight ends on the field. As they are about a 2nd and 6 situation here. Lewis picked up about 4, so it is 2nd and 6. He is in the shotgun once again with Jacobs directly behind him. Snap, he's going to hand it to Jacobs right up the middle. He's got a little bit of a hole and tries to get in there. He might be close to the first down. I think he's going to be a little short, though, as he is tackling right about the 5-yard line in there. So I think it's going to be 3rd down and about 2 right now. Jordan, for the Beavers, what do you look for?
When you're this close to the end zone, I think you can actually run a little bit of a pass play. But one thing I kind of am looking at is Brandon Barthel out there. He's being pressed by Fridge, and Fridge looks like he's got about an inch on him. And you don't often see that in a corner, having an inch on the receiver in that. So I think that's a matchup that they're not going to quite go to. I wouldn't be shocked if they run this with Jacobs.
Lewis behind center. It looks to the corner of the end zone. A lot of infighting over there, and the ball is incomplete. So both receiver and defensive back at each other on that one, and the ball falls incomplete.
Yeah, great job on that one. More great defense by the Sac City secondary. They just tried to get that jump ball up there, either get a call or get a touchdown, and unfortunately, it didn't go their way.
So we're going to get a field goal here for the Beavers, field goal try. We'll kind of get the number of the kicker. Looks like Alden Basirovic, number 41.
No, I believe that's 49, actually.
49, so it is Schreiner then.
Yeah, Zach Schreiner out of Whitney High School.
Okay. Snap, little activity up on the line of scrimmage, and there's the kick. And
we do have a flag.
It is good. I think we're going to have a flag, though, because there was movement. I think the kick is good.
ARC seems to think it's on Sac City, although you rarely see a team go, hey, you know what, that was on me, let's move it back.
Well, yeah, that's true. And also, even if it is on Sac City, is it going to give them, if it gives them a first down, then obviously they're going to go ahead and get the four down. So we'll see. Waiting for the referee to give us the info as the referee is talking over to the American River College coaches over here. It looks like American River's coming. Everybody's coming out the field, so I think we're going to have a good field goal. It's a decline there, so the Schreiner's field goal, and we have the first points of the season. Jordan, Zach Schreiner from about 22 yards, and the Beavers lead this one 3-0.
Yeah, 3-0 Beavers. I mean, you got to like what you've seen from them so far. You have 2 great defensive stands, a great punt return, setting yourself up. Maybe you want to get, the red zone offense going a little more, but hey, through one red zone trip, if you come away with points, that's what you can ask for.
Yeah, you got to go ahead and find out what you have there. I thought, on 3rd down there, I thought they might try the middle of the field again, but they went to the fade route in the corner, and it was well defended. So you got to, try what you have, what you've been working on, and see if it works when it actually comes into the game.
They did have a little bit of a size advantage there on that fade route, too, when they were going to Bozzi in the corner. So, 6'5", 225, right. I understand why you want to give them the jump ball.
Yeah, well, so 3 points in the books. And like you say, Jordan, you want to come out with something, and they did. And Schreiner, a good kicking game is great at every level. So if you can get yourself 3 points, then you take the 3 points and you go back on defense where, let's face it, last series, the defensive line of the Beavers were the real standouts.
Oh, yeah, especially Kean Sloan. 2 sacks on that, or I believe it was 1 sack and then a forced fumble. Yep. But just great job by Sloan there on that drive. He really set the tone and then set him up for a big punt return.
And Schreiner will be kicking off to a pair of backs for Sac City. 7:42 left to go in the first quarter, and the kick gets the foot into it, and that's going to be all the way back into the end zone, and they are going to return it right up the middle of the field, and that was not a good idea as the Beavers are all over the back at about the 13-yard line. So what a kick by Schreiner at the kickoff. And it'll be 1st and 10 on the 13 for the Panthers.
And the biggest thing about special teams, especially at the college level, in a way, you're really setting the tone. It's a third of the game, and 2 big plays on special teams by the Beavers. A little bit of a mistake there as well by Jermaine Brown, the kick returner for Sac City. He probably should have just taken a knee on that one. Ends up not, and ends up costing his team a few yards. Yeah, and the Beavers in great position once again.
Maybe later in the season he does take a knee on that one, but that one he goes ahead and goes after it. So 1st down here. It's a fake handoff, a pass across the middle. It's a slant pass by Partee. It is complete. It's going to be about an 8-yard gain on the play.
Yeah, Sac City's starting to move the ball a little bit. They like that little slant pattern. It's happened twice now in this one. That time they connect on it.
Yeah, so it's going to be second down and about 2 yards to go. As they break the huddle with Partee in the shotgun. Frazier behind him. In the shotgun, there it is. And up off the middle, and he is tackled. It's going to be close to a first down.
And I believe that one was actually Evan Zaperi on the run.
Zaperi from Bradshaw Christian, I believe. Yeah, so he is up there, and he is going to get a first down. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Panthers, and finally they break through with their first down.
And sometimes that's all you need to get the ball rolling.
Yeah, and what looked up for them is we talked about the pass. They tried the slant pass the first time, didn't complete it, and that time they did, and that set up the run for the first down. So here we are, first down, ball on the 24-yard line in the shotgun. Partee, low snap. He's going to hand that ball up the middle, and immediately stopped is Frazier. And he's still stopped, and he's still stopped. And it doesn't matter how far you push him back. You still got to give him his initial hit. It's going to be 2nd and 11 from about the 23.
Yeah, and that was Zaperi again on the run. Zaperi, a big running back, 6'4", 180 though, so a little lengthy. You don't quite see that in a running back. But a good job by this Beaver defensive line once again.
You don't see that, a guy that tries to go up the middle a lot, you know?
No, you really don't.
Not at 180. Maybe at 6'4", but not at 180. So here we are. Second down now. Still 10 yards to go here from the 24-yard line. In the shotgun, that's all we've seen so far from both teams, actually. Partee's back to pass, looking over the field. He's looking over the middle. He's got time, hits over the middle. Nice close by the Beaver defensive back, and he knocks it away at about the 36-yard line. Incomplete pass for Partee.
Yeah, it looks like Brennis was the intended receiver there. Jonathan Brands out of Van Den. Another low pass. I mean, it looks like they're just trying to get this ball where they can just make a secure catch on the ground, kind of pick their way at this ARC defense. Hasn't quite worked out so far.
Yeah, they're not quite stepping into the ball. They're trying to use the middle of the field. He needs to step into the ball, and everything's been a little low. Maybe to throw it away from the defense. We don't know. 5:37 to go, first quarter. Beavers lead this one 3-0. Panthers second down on their own 25-yard line. Make that third down. Back to pass again. Partee's looking down. Now he's under pressure. Rolls to his left, coming back up the field. He cuts back. He's caught by a couple of Beavers, but he's going to have enough for a first down right about the 37-yard line. Make that the 38-yard line by Partee. He got in trouble, had nothing to do. He looked like he was going to left, came back to the middle, and picked up another first down.
Yeah, that ARC defensive line got down there quick. His receiver was being pressed on one side. Didn't even have time to look for a second target. Just tucked it in a run. A great heads-up move by Partee to get the first.
Yeah, using the penetration by the defensive line against them, as the defensive line has been in the backfield pretty much this entire first quarter. So first down, 39-yard line of Sac City. Partee in the shotgun, a transfer out of Santa Monica City College. He's going to go back to pass. He's got time. Now there's pursuit. He rolls to his right, and he throws, and it's incomplete to the right. Another great pursuit by the defensive line of the American River College Beavers.
Yeah, that one was Michael Sullivan, a sophomore out of Sheldon High School. He's another name that's been down there all game. And Partee's got to be careful. That was a little bit of a dangerous pass. I mean, the DB got a great read on it, and that could have ended up a big hit or an interception even.
Yeah, looked like he was kind of halfway between trying to complete it and trying to throw it away. So if you're going to throw it away, throw it away. You don't want to get that ball on the field of play. So here we are, second down from the 39. 4:57 to go here, first quarter, Beaver Stadium. Beavers lead at 3-0. Mark Phantom Lowe and Jordan Georgeson from the Stones Radio Networks. That's a pass out into the flat. It's caught out there, cutting back up the field. Good pursuit, but he gets about 5 yards on the play. Good job by the Beavers in the backfield. Their pursuit has been really good. And they got the runner down with about a gain of 6, and so it's going to be 3rd and 4.
Yeah, decent swing pass there, and, brings it up to a 3rd and manageable all of a sudden, 3rd and 4, and that kind of keeps the Beavers defense on their toes too, because you don't know. You can run out of this, you can pass out of this. There's a lot you can do with a 3rd and 4 around midfield.
Well, here we go. Coming up and in the shotgun again. That is Partee, that 6'4" quarterback. One back to his right in front of him. He goes back to pass. He looks to his left, and then there's good pursuit again. He throws it out of there. It's going to be closed down and caught. But a great play by the linebacker, Donovan LeBon there, as he tackled the receiver short of the first down. It'll be about a 4th and 2 here, Jordan, from the 48. So what do you think they roll the dice?
I don't think they do. I mean, it's going to depend. I don't think they're going to roll the dice, too. And also, there's going to be a holding call here. We're going to see what ARC does, because I think a lot of that's going to depend on if they think Sac State's going to roll, or Sac City's going to roll the dice here.
I think in this situation, a holding call, you're going to go back 10. You go ahead and take the yards off. You take it because they're just too close here. And depending on where the spot foul is, that's a 10-yard penalty, and that should push them back to from third and 6 to at least 3rd and 15, 3rd and 16. So I think that with the way the pursuit is going for American River College, they're going to take the loss.
Yeah, I believe so too. Because I mean, Sac City's had a few, couple big plays, couple medium gains, but I think their biggest play of the afternoon's been 12 yards. So
there you go.
If you're making them gain more yards than they've had to gain all day, then that's going to bode well for you.
3rd and 14 now from the 36-yard line. Split receivers, 3 out to the left, 1 out to the right for Ben Partee and the Panthers. He's got the single running back with him for protection, we would assume. Snap comes back. He is looking back, looking over the middle. Now he's got thrown out to the corner, and it's complete, but it's going to be about 3 yards short. So, Jordan, they ended up in the same spot they were before.
I mean, they just talk about clock management. You just killed more time.
So it's going to be 4th down, and I think it's closer than 2. It might be a 4th and 1. It looks like Sac City is bringing on the punt team, and I think they listened to you and they said there's no reason with 3:42 to go in the first quarter that we make a decision like this, which could cost us if we don't make it.
No, but what you got to be careful for if you're ARC is you almost want to just have your safety coverage out there and not be caught in a fake punt, because this is the type of thing where a fake punt can all of a sudden shift the momentum of this one too.
And I think they're listening to you because they just pulled 3 guys off the line of scrimmage and put them in the medium position. So the snap is on the way. Now we've got movement on the right side for Sac City. Snap is up, and he is going to go ahead and kick it. It is a short kick toward the right side. You're going to clear everybody away from it for American River College. It hits on the 15 and rolls to a stop right on the 13-yard line. So another good defensive possession by American River College. And Jordan, what I'm noticing, the first thing that's jumping out at me is the pressure and penetration from the front 4 of the Beavers.
Yeah, so far Sac City does not have an answer for this American River pass rush, and it's going to be a long day for poor Ben Partee back there if they can't get that figured out.
Yeah, he looks like he has time initially, and then it breaks down quickly. But if he's going to, we saw him a couple times try those quick hitters, and maybe that's the way he's going to go. So here we are with Kenny Lewis still behind center, actually in the shotgun for the Beavers at his 13-yard line, 1st and 10. He's looking to the left. Now he comes back to the right, throws a short slant pass to the wide receiver who keeps dancing around. It stays on his feet, coming all the way across the field. He is down to the 35-yard line and knocked out of bounds at the 35-yard line. We'll get a number there. I think that is,
I believe that was number 80, which is
Grayson Barnes. Yeah.
So he found his Rockland teammate there on that one. A great move by Barnes. We have a man down. Looks like that's number 11 for Sac City. It's Jamari Jackson, another Monterey Trail kid.
Okay, so we've got an injury. We had looks like now they're going to go ahead and pull him right back up. Hopefully Jamari is feeling okay. Good play by the Beavers. Looked to the left right away, and then Lewis came back to the right and hit Barnes, who did a great job coming back across the field and evading tackles.
Yeah, and Barnes also picked up a key block, especially from Jacobs there, that allowed him to get that extra 10 yards on that. Great heads-up play by American River and by Barnes to follow his blockers, pick up the yards. And this is something we're going to want to keep an eye on this one. Playing in around triple-digit temperatures, I'm sure the cramps are going to start coming, and we're going to start seeing some stoppage of plays from players that, are just dehydrated out there.
Absolutely. And this game originally scheduled for 1:30, moved up to 11 o'clock, and I think we might see fewer of them than we would have because of that, Jordan. But I think the good thing here is that you get the ball down on your 13-yard line inside the 20, and you come out with that big play right away to give yourself some room. So that's got to feel good for the Beavers as they are ready to go. They're back on the field already. They don't want to wait. They want to go. Let's go. But there was time called on that injury. And the Panthers are still over consulting with their coaches. The defensive unit comes back on the field now with 3:20 to go, first quarter. Beavers 3 and the Panthers nothing. Zach Schreiner field goal, about a 24-yarder, the only scoring so far, as the Beavers have threatened a little bit.
And I think a lot of what American River is doing so far with their offense is they're kind of picking and seeing what Sac City's throwing at them, seeing what they can get away with.
In the gun, with the runner behind him, that's Jacobs. He hands it to Avanti, and he's going to have just about maybe 1 yard up the middle of the field as Sac City
Looks like that might have been a read option there, and I don't know if Lewis made the right read on
Yeah.
it. It looked like the defensive end was crashing. I think he could have taken that and gotten a few extra yards.
Grayson Barnes comes back in, replacing Bozzi on the tight end spot as we go to 2nd and 9 for the Beavers. 2:48 to go first quarter. They lead it 3-0 from Beaver Stadium here on the campus of American River College. We from Stones Radio Networks very happy to be doing the American River College home sporting events all year long. Lewis in the shotgun. He's a fake handoff, goes back to pass. He's going to go deep down the field. It's going to be overthrown. Looked like he was going for Barthel, number 1 on that one, Jordan, but overthrown by a considerable amount.
Yeah, Barthel got inside the DB on there, and actually I believe that DB that he was testing was looks like Jamari Jackson again. I wonder if they saw him cramp up and they were like, hey, let's test that calf and see if you're got a step slower.
Maybe the way to go, though, if he gets on the inside there and they're trying to throw the ball, he went for the deep ball, and maybe you throw the ball across the middle. That's the way the route developed, but no chance for Lewis to see that, so he's faced now with a 3rd and 9 from his own 37-yard line. Single back to his left. He is in the shotgun. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. He's looking to the right now, and now he's got some pressure. He's going to have to get out of there. He's going to be sacked by Sac City, and they are all over him back at the 24-yard line. So great pressure by the Panthers, and they end up at the sack.
And guess where this one went to high school? Another Monterey Trail kid, Mario Keenan, the 6'3" D lineman, sophomore coming in there. Really the first time the Panthers have gotten a pressure on the American River QB, and it pays off for them, and they end up forcing a punt.
Yeah, some of that might have been a DB coverage sack, too, because Lewis looked like he wanted to do the quick hitter, and it just wasn't open for him. So punt formation for the Panthers. 4th and 21 here, 1:45 to go first quarter.
It looks like they're doing it once again where they have 1 deep and 1 medium, I guess you can call it.
And the punt, a good-looking punt, is going to be fair caught back on the 30, but he lets it go, and it rolls back to the 25. Now it makes a right turn and gets back up to the 28, and that's where Sac City will take over 1st and 10 on the 28-yard line. So almost through with 1 quarter, Jordan. What's jumped out at you so far?
What's really jumped out at me is the Beaver defensive line. I mean, they've been in the backfield all day. They're causing problems, and for Party, if his first read isn't open, he has a hard time finding that second read because he's got 1 or 2 guys in his face every time he drops back.
And let's see how both teams adjust now to what's happening defensively in the first quarter. Obviously, a lot of game to go, but they do make adjustments all the way through the game to where the pressure's coming from. So here's Partee in the shotgun, 1 back behind him, and there's a movement everywhere, offensive line, defensive line, and everything. So we'll sort it out and see who's to blame, as American River College sends in 4 new players after a penalty. So that's an interesting substitution.
And Phantom, I think that's one of the adjustments we just talked about. I think Sac City saw the jumps American River's D-line was getting and the way they were getting back there, and they're like, all right, let's hard count these guys and try to catch them, get 5 free yards, and it looks like they got just that.
Yeah, good call, Jordan. So it's 1st and 5 now, as that is the case. Encroachment, I believe, is the fancy term for it nowadays.
We got kids doing push-ups on the sideline, so it looks like they know they made the mistake.
That's why they came out. Yeah, here we go. 1st and 5, and there they jumped again almost. Handoff, and there is a penalty on the play, and that's not going to go anywhere. So just about a 2-yard gain, but that penalty came in immediately after the handoff. Might have been another case where the Beavers were over the scrimmage line. We'll see.
I believe you're right. Oh.
No, it's going to be false start legal procedure on the Panthers, so they give those 5 yards right back, and we're back to 1st and 10.
And that's a killer right there. The last thing you want to do, especially when you get a 5 free yards, is give them right back to the other team, especially a defense like American Rivers. It's really been a problem all afternoon.
So we go 1st and 10, 1:14 to go first quarter. Substitutions being made right at the end, right as the play is being run. We got a guy coming out of the Sac City sideline, and now we're going to have a timeout called as he finally gets to his position. And from the assistant coaches that are behind us, I have a feeling that somebody was in the wrong spot, Jordan.
I believe so. They don't seem too happy about that one.
No, not at all. So timeout, 1:14 to go first quarter. Beavers lead this one 3-0. So that was a good point you made, Jordan, about the adjusting. They go ahead and we're going to hard count you guys, and we're going to get 5 free yards, and everything's going to be rosy, and then they give it right back. And that is why there are some coaches both on the field and behind us that are not real happy with the Panthers right now.
Now, and the one thing to remember with the first game of the year, you're going to have a few mental lapses,
Certainly.
especially in a heat like this where, you're just going to be in a little bit of a fog at times. And, you got to just try to limit those mistakes and reel it in, especially in a game like this. First game of the year, emotions are running high. They're eager to hit someone that's not them. You just got to reel it in, really settle down and play your style of play. Don't try to do too much out there.
Yeah, and I won't be surprised if we see what we just saw more and more, because like you say, it's the first game. Sometimes a guy forgets he's on this unit or in this formation, and that's him supposed to be in there. That's what it looked like there, is they had a guy who was in that formation that they called, and he wasn't on the field yet. And he was, of course, as far away from their sideline as he could be, so he couldn't get to a spot, and they had to call the timeout. So Sac City ready to go offensively. The Beavers coming back out defensively. Looks like teams, it looks like the same four that have been out there with Sullivan and Sloan and Ajayi.
I think this is the longest it's taken to run a first down play I've ever seen between all the penalties we've had.
Back to Passepartout. He's got some time. Now it's closed down. He steps up, throws it over the middle, and he's got a guy breaking open, but right at the last moment. And I think we have an injury, I think, right there from Sac City. Hopefully it's just momentary, and I think the guy's trying to get up. But a little time for Partee, and he tried to throw a guy open who broke open at the end of the play, Jordan, but just overthrown.
Yeah, one thing, though, American River's got to be careful about. It looked like there was a little bit of a late hit on the quarterback there. I mean, they were all in pursuit. They could have just been trying to stop themselves, but you got to be careful with that, because those hits on the quarterbacks, they tend to throw those flags a little quicker than they throw on others.
Yeah, they're gonna call that, and they probably should call that. And I know we've talked about how exuberant a team is on their first first game of the season and everything, and you want to go out and you want to hit somebody, but you got to be smart about it. You're not a high school freshman anymore. You're in junior college. You've got to know when you're going to unload and when you don't. And like you say, Jordan, it's not on the quarterback after he's thrown it.
No, and the D linemen too. I mean, they're out there hungry, and the big dogs want to eat. They want to get their sacks.
They want to get the big dogs want to eat. They want to get their sacks. So 3-0, 1:08 to go as we are tending to the injured player on the field. It is a Sac City player.
Looks like it's Zaperi.
Okay, so it's the running back, Zaperi. So hopefully he is going to be fine. He's out of Bradshaw Christian, Evan Zaperi.
Looked like they were rubbing the calf. I think we might have another cramp situation.
Helping him off, a couple of coaches there. So he gets the applause. He gets the, reverential applause from the home crowd as he goes back to. Look at the visitor side of Beaver Stadium is not a huge side as far as the room for seats are concerned, but it's really being populated over there by some sunny fans who are coming out, bringing the umbrellas and the pop tops, and they're setting it up over there.
Oh, it's a great crowd out here today, especially those braving the heat. You got a little bit of shade up there, up top in the visitors section.
They got some trees up there. Okay, so here's Partee. Second down, he's going to hand it off. On the left side, kicking through the line of scrimmage, coming through. It looks like that is Frazier, and he's going to have himself a first down. We'll double check that as far as the ball carrier, but I think that was Frazier.
I believe that was actually Tanati Gundamara.
Okay, so listed as a defensive back, but getting some carries on offense.
I may have the number wrong on that. It might actually. Oh, I believe that was actually Otha Williams.
Otha Williams, number 16. Okay.
That looks better. He's listed as a running back.
That
I think
does
that
make
makes
a lot more sense. Otha out of Monterey Trail, as you said, a fine school. So a first down with 42 seconds to go on the run by Williams, who came in for Superior, probably. Single back behind Partee. In motion, he's going to pass across the middle again, and that one is thrown too low. It's knocked down, I believe, by the lineman, and they said, there's the ball on the ground. I think I'm going to run this back for a touchdown, but incomplete.
You need to seize every opportunity you can to get the ball in your hands as a lineman.
As a lineman, that's right. You speak from experience there. And so that ball knocked down at the line of scrimmage. It'll be second down and 10. Ball on the 40-yard line, 39-yard line of Sac City with 27 seconds to go here. They've got to get up to the 49-yard line. Partee has been behind center the entire first quarter. He's had Frazier, he's had Superior, and now he has Otha Williams as running backs behind him. Otha just peeling off that 12-yard run for the first down, and we go into second down with Partee in the shotgun. In motion, coming around, he's going to back to pass. Looks like a screen play. It's thrown a little bit too low, but caught out there by the running back, and he's going to have himself about a 6-yard gain on a play that was well designed, but the pass was too low, and I think that hurt him, Jordan.
Yeah, I think so too. And man, I think you could see Partee's pupils from up here in the press box when he saw those two linebackers running in at him. He just got that ball out. It was a great adjustment there to get that ball. I believe that was Frazier that made the catch, but unfortunately because it was low, he didn't get as many yards as he thought he would.
So there we go, the end of the first quarter. We are through 15 minutes here at Beaver Stadium. Our score, American River College 3, Sac City nothing. We'll be back with more American River College football right here on the Stones Radio Network right after this. And we are back. Quarter number 2. Sac City in possession at their own 44-yard line. Partee comes to the side. Good penetration by the American River defensive back. We'll get a number right there as he closed on the receiver. That is number 17, I believe, and that is Dom Spence out of Whitney. He closed on the receiver who got the ball behind the line of scrimmage and dropped him right away to set up a 4th down.
Great job by Spence. He's hobbling a little bit. I'm wondering if he's cramping up as well. And here comes a punting unit, and it looks like Freeman's going to be back there to return, hopefully his second big return of the game.
Yeah, that was probably the biggest play of the game so far. He had a 36-yard punt return that set up the Beavers on the 12-yard line. They eventually got 3 points out of that, but that was the biggest play so far as Freeman out of El Cerrito is setting up back on about the Beavers' 20-yard line. Snap goes back. It'll be now there's offsides. It's going to be offsides by American River College as one of the linemen just jumped. It won't make a difference as far as a first down is concerned, but it's a thing, Jordan. I think that that's coaches kind of expect it to happen in the first game, but still you don't want it.
No, especially on a play like that where the punt was, to be frank, it was shanked pretty badly, and AR is going to want that one back because you'd be getting the ball around the 45-yard line right now if you didn't jump off sides there.
Yeah, and it was a situation where it was just the one guy just kind of jumped inside. It wasn't a couple of guys. They didn't hard count him or anything. He just took off too early. And the penalty obviously will be taken by Sac City. That will put them up at about the 45-yard line. They'll still be 4th and 4 to go, so they still should be in punt formation from what we've seen so far. They're not really gambling a lot in this game, and they are back to punt. I believe that is, see if that's number 39 listed on the roster. Alejandro Rojas is the kicker and the punter on my little sheet here. Don't jump off sides again because that would be a first down, and they don't, and the ball is punted. Another short punt, Jordan, to your point. That one is going to hit at about the 34. Takes a big hop in favor of the Panthers and goes all the way down to the 19-yard line of the American River College Beavers. So a very lucky punt right there by Sac City.
You know, though, I don't know if luck's the word I would use to do it just because they've had a few punts where it hasn't gone super deep, and they've got a good bounce, so it might be the spin he's putting on the ball and the style he uses in punting.
Yeah, I would go with you if it was more of a line drive punt, but he had a little bit of air underneath that, and that I think you're taking a chance on that. But either way, we can argue later. It's 1st and 10 on the 19. I think we might have, check the number on that. I think we might have a new quarterback in there. I think that Matt Carlisle out of Newark Catholic, Newark Catholic is in. We talked to the Coach O, and he said he was going to be alternating his top 2 quarterbacks, and so we're seeing Matt Carlisle now, and there's a handoff. Now he's going to pass. He took it out and threw it up in the air over the receiver and incomplete. So he faked the handoff around the left. He had a guy short, a tight end, floated it over his head and out toward Robert Freeman, but it was incomplete. And I think lucky for them it was, Jordan.
Yeah, they fooled all of us, too, on that. I mean, if you fooled the announcers, you probably fooled the defense. And the running back we thought had the ball, that was actually Tariq Parker, another player that we've been waiting to make his debut, and he's out there now.
Yeah, out of Wheatland Union, so he is a spelling of Avante Jacobs, 2 great running backs for the Beavers, and now 2nd down for Matt Carlisle. Number 4 out of Newark Catholic. This time he's going to hold it, hand it to Tariq Parker on the left side. He's got a little bit of running room. He's up, still going, and he's going to have himself about a 15-yard game, and should be a first down for the American River College Beavers.
And you know what I loved about what I saw from Carlisle on that play is he actually put his shoulder to really sell that read option. A lot of quarterbacks kind of slowed off. He put his shoulder into the defender. He tried to make it look like he was running with the ball. That was a great job by Carlisle.
1st and 10 from the 30-yard line as Carlisle and Parker kind of collaborate on a handoff there, and Tariq gets loose around the left end. So 1st down for the Beavers. 13:27 to go in the half. Carlisle now a straight drop back. He's got pressure. He's going to have to get rid of it. He holds on to it, and he is sacked right around the 12-yard line. Actually, it's about the 15. He was knocked back to the 12-yard line, and this is a case of the Panthers' penetration.
Yeah, Panthers. It looked like that was a screen pass that the defensive line just got through right away. Looks like that was Marshawn Hunter on the sacker that led the charge there. And I think Carlisle tried to look over the D-line, just held onto it too long.
Yeah, I mean, if it is a screen pass, you got to get rid of it because the screen pass is not designed to wait and wait and wait because there are just more guys flooding the zone. So, 2nd down. A loss of about 15 yards or 10 yards on that play. There's a straight handoff to Parker. He's cutting on the right side, cuts back. He's going to get nothing out of that play. Maybe got 2 yards on the carry. So Tariq Parker with the carry. He gets about 2 yards. It'll bring up a 3rd down, and they have to get all the way out to the 40-yard line. So a 3rd down and 25 yards to go.
And then Kama Riddick looked like the one that led the charge on that one, number 92 for the Panthers.
So the Panthers, after the Tariq Parker 1st down run, very impressive 2 downs here defensively, and they forced a 3rd and long. And so far, we have not seen a long pass completed by either team, really. So picking up the 20 yards necessary is going to be a tough sell for Matt Carlisle and the Beavers. He's back to pass, steps up a little bit. Now he's got to get rid of it because he's got pressure, and he's going to be down at the 10-yard line. So maybe a case, Jordan, of hold on to it too long.
Yeah, once again, holding on to it too long. American River got away with a hold there as well. And Sac City's defensive line, I think they heard us talk about the pressure American River's putting on them. They're like, you know what, we'll do some of that too.
Well, it just doesn't seem teams are comfortable on either side really of running those pass plays and everything, and then there's no substitute for doing it than actually doing it. But in this situation, negative yardage on a couple of plays for the Beavers, and now they're going to have to punt, and the Sac City receiver is hanging around right about midfield because the punter is in the end zone.
Yeah, you never want to punt out of your end zone. You're punting a little more shallow than you're used to. And this is a huge opportunity for Sac City to flip the momentum in this game right now.
Big snap here as it's down low. It's scooped up, and now he's going to have to run it out of the end zone, picked up. He's trying to throws an underhand pass, which I think is going to be raved off because I think he was down. It's going to be a sack. So just what we said, Jordan, low snap. He tried to run out of the end zone and couldn't do it.
Yeah, a huge play. Special teams again. I mean, special teams has reigned supreme in this one. Great job by Sac City. It looks like that was number 21 coming off the edge that ended up getting in the punter's face there. And I believe that's C.J. Elkridge.
Out of Rio Americano, yeah. So C.J. comes around. It looked to me like it was a good job fielding the punt. I thought he might have been able to get it away, but he decided discretion the better part of valor. And then as he was going down, he threw a shovel pass, which was popular when I was a kid, but I don't think we've seen him since then.
Well, no, I mean, but Phantom, in fairness, when the forward pass was invented when you were a kid.
That is, I actually did it myself. So here's Sac City. We'll see if it's still Partee behind center. And looks like we're going to have a timeout on behalf of American River College. And so they're going to sit around and talk about it. We will sit back as well ourselves with 10:59 to go in the second quarter. We will step away for just a minute. Right now, Beavers lead this one 3-0, and we'll be right back with more American River College football right here on the Stones Radio Networks. Here we are back at Beaver Stadium, 10:59 to go, second quarter. Beavers leading 3-0, but the Panthers on the strength of a great special teams play where they tackled the punter coming out of the end zone. They have 1st and goal on the 5-yard line. And Partee would think is still in at quarterback. He's going to hand the ball right up the middle. There goes Allen to the right side, and he is getting down near the goal line, and it is going to be down at the 1-yard line.
Partee with the handoff to number 32, Damian Allen.
They desperately wanted a touchdown.
I've never met an offensive line that doesn't, to be fair.
Well, that's all they got. I mean, when they see the
Gain of 4 on the play. Ball is spotted on the 1-yard line.
That's us, baby. But it is
second down, Panthers.
Gold on the 1-yard line as he picked up 4 on the play. Sac City trying to turn this into points and take the lead, take their first lead, score their first points of the 2022 campaign.
Great opportunity to do it, set up by a great special teams play.
Under center now, Partee. He's going to go straight up the middle on the quarterback sneak and looking to the near sideline. I don't see any arms raised yet. And they will not be, I don't think.
No, but the offensive line's doing it
They
once
are,
again.
now we're finally going to get the call. They probably impiled it and they found him in there in the end.
And Partee runs it in for the touchdown.
Partee in there for the touchdown, and that makes it 6-3 in favor of Sac City as we get ready for the extra point.
And the big man there, Isaiah Carter, number 71 out of Nevada Union. He was leading the charge. He was more pumped up than Partee was, and Partee's the one that crossed the goal line.
Well, I know, but Carter's probably the one that got him there. He was driving Miss Daisy, you know. I mean, he was getting him over there. So here we are with the Panthers lining up for the extra point. It is Alejandro Rojas out of Jesuit. He kicks it up, and it looks good. It is good. So the touchdown and the extra point off the special teams turnover in effect by the Panthers, and they lead at 7-3. And so, Jordan, what does American River College need to do coming out here with 10 minutes to go in the half?
Well, they got to just settle down. I think that last series, they looked a little panicked. I don't know what quarterback they're going to go with. If it is Carlisle, you just got to do a better job of getting that ball out, knowing when there's nothing there, there's no shame in taking an incompletion, throwing that ball away. And I think sometimes, you know, especially when you hit junior college, you get players that are freshmen, that were stars in high school, and they're used to being able to make these plays. But the problem is you're playing other stars on their high school teams. Just try not to do too much. Just settle down and take what the defense can give you.
Yeah, that's a great point. And the other thing I think is when a quarterback comes in off the bench like that, he's got to get a read on the game because the game has a vibe kind of going. And he's kind of got to get a read on it. And I think it takes a minute to get up to speed of what's been going on for the first 15 minutes. So we'll see. I think it'll be interesting to see if American River College goes back to the pass right away on this possession, or if they try to run the ball. They had Tariq Parker in there. It looked good on a couple of runs. Let's see how they approach it.
And that's a double-edged sword of platooning quarterbacks because you get a guy like Lewitt who has a great arm, and then all of a sudden you bring Carlisle in who can run the ball a little more. He's a little more agile. And, you know, when you're doing that, it's a different thing because, one, you can give the defense a different look they might not be used to, might not be prepared to. It's harder to, you know, get ready for that. But at the same time, you're also, like you said, throwing a guy in there that doesn't have the vibe of the game.
And I think we mentioned it before, but I think it bears repeating that these guys have been running routes with guys that they probably just met a couple of months ago, and they've been doing it, and this is the first time they're doing it in the game. We've seen a lot of routes that have been broken off or just haven't been clicked on, and that's going to happen at this point, and you just try to make that a process and give Carlisle a chance to get his feel for the game. So here we go. Kicking it off is Rojas from his 20-yard line, so that seems a little excessive.
Yeah, I
We
believe
might have
there
a
was some
penalty.
extracurricular activities in the after that extra point.
These kids today. Here we go with the kickoff. From the 20, it's going to land right about the 25, 22-yard line, picked up by the Beavers. Coming up the left side, getting around side. Good return, still going over midfield and getting down to about the 42-yard line, it looks like, of the Panthers. So a really good return by the Beavers on that one.
Yeah, another great return by Freeman. And again, Phantom, I mean, we can't say it enough, but another big special teams play now setting their team up in great field position to go ahead and take that lead right back.
And Matt Carlisle is the quarterback for his second series. Kenny Lewis played the first quarter, had a couple of good-looking throws, but the Beavers only able to put 3 points up on the board. And so I think we got an offsides also tacked on, but it's going to be, looks like at the, we're going to move that up to the 40-yard line. So here we go. It's going to be first down. So another big play, as you said, Freeman on the return for the Beavers. And they need to get a play like that from scrimmage to give themselves a little bit of, you know, hey, okay, you know.
Yeah, I think this is a big series for Carlisle because if you're starting with the ball on the opposition's 40, you got to have at least 3 out of this possession.
Here we go. Carlisle in the shotgun. Looks like Parker to his right. 3 receivers out to the right. And there, a jump on the defense, it looked like. Carlisle down the field. He's got a guy open, but it's knocked away at the last moment by the defender at about the 5-yard line. A well-thrown ball by Carlisle. 35 yards in the air, but contested and knocked away by the defensive back for Sac City. Will pick up or bring up a second down.
Yeah, that was Elijah King, a 6'4" defensive back. You don't often see a DB with that type of size, but good move by King. Unfortunately, it's still going to be 5 free yards, and a heads-up move by Carlisle there to take that stab downfield because he saw the offsides.
Yeah, a very veteran move. Actually, you're right by Carlisle as he went ahead and went for it after he knew he had the 5 yards in the bag, and he does. So it is now 1st and 5. After the encroachment call from the 35 now. Parker to his left. 2 receivers out right, 1 out left. There's a handoff up the middle, and he'll push it about 2 yards up the middle for the Beavers. He'll set up a 2nd down and 3 yards to go. I believe that was Tariq Parker.
Yeah,
no, it's Avante Jacobs is in there. Okay, so Jacobs is back in there. You know, a day like this, as you mentioned earlier, with the heat and everything, Jordan, you can rotate some running backs. That's a good situation.
Yeah, good job by Jacobs. Keep those legs churning there, getting that extra couple yards. And again, like I said, now you're in a 1st and 5, 2nd and 3, I guess. But 1st and 5 on your own 35, you have to come away with points right here if you're American River.
Yeah, you're making sense there, Jordan, as far as getting the big play and then getting the penalty and getting deep in, actually 2 penalties back-to-back there, getting deep into their territory. So 2nd down, 3 yards to go. And he is back straight to pass, going to go right back up the middle. He's got a little bit of room. Carlisle goes out to his right. He's at the 28. He's going to be knocked down there. He will have a 1st down. It looked like he evaded the rush, stepped up in the pocket. Looked like he could have gone a little further straight, but he decided to go out to his right, but he did get the 1st down.
A great job by Carlisle. I mean, that pocket collapsed right away. I don't even think he saw his first read there. He just tucked that ball and ran, and the athleticism of the quarterback, he's a little bit faster than that defensive line.
Well, but it's alarming what you say there, Jordan, because if he's not being able to pick up his first receiver, obviously we've talked about it on the last possession, Sac City and their defensive line getting a little bit more aggressive, and they're continuing to do it in this series as well. But it's a 1st down on the 28 now. Jacobs back there, back to pass Carlisle. He fakes it. He's still open. He throws it down the left side. He's got a guy curling back. The throw is incomplete. Right about on the goal line there. As it taking his time, that was kind of a curl route from the left wide out. He was open at the goal line, but it was a low throw and it's a tough catch.
Yeah, and one thing, we'll call that maybe a little bit of a freshman mistake by Carlisle. I think he had enough time, even with the pressure, to set his feet there, and I think he sets that feet. That's a more accurate throw, and that's 6 points for the Beavers.
Yeah, it looked like the wide receiver broke the route off and was coming across the middle like that was the plan to do that, and he was open on that. So we'll come back with 2nd down from the 28-yard line. Beavers trailing 7-3, 8:20 to go 1st half from Beaver Stadium. Mark the Phantom Low, Jordan Georgeson for Stones Radio Networks on the YouTube. And we're going to have a timeout here from the American River College Beavers. And right now, Jordan, what are you talking about if you're in the huddle in that scrum right there with American River College and Coach O?
Well, I think what you got to do is you need to really find a way. It looks like Sac City is really bringing that blitz. I think what the Panthers are trying to do is they're trying to get the Beavers out of field goal position. And I think what you're looking at is how can we counter that blitz? What's a play we can run to kind of make them pay for blitzing? And the thing is, you got to talk to Carlisle too and be like, look, you might be running a screen pass here. Don't panic if they get in your face. Just get rid of that ball if they're in your face like that. But I think a screen pass is the best way to counter that blitz.
Yeah, when you talk to anybody who's watched a lot of football, when you see that kind of pressure on the quarterback, the screen play used to be the draw, but nobody runs a draw play anymore. The screen play or screen pass is what usually comes up, but it looks like we've seen a couple of screens so far for both teams. It looks like the timing isn't exactly right on the screens early in the season, so that may be why he's a little bit hesitant to run that.
And I think a lot of that's also why the blitz has been a lot more effective by both teams in this game as well.
So here we go. Breaking up the huddle on the sidelines there, American River College, and their whole team just about decided to get in on it and see what the coach had to say.
Another thing you can run, too, to counter that blitz, especially if they're bringing the linebackers up there, is get a quick hit like a slant or something like that where you can turn upfield and get 7 or 8 yards until they meet the safety.
2nd down, 10 yards to go on the 28 of the Panthers. Sac City 7, American River 3. We are in the 2nd quarter here. First game of the season, 8:19 to go. Carlisle in the shotgun, got the running back to his right, flares the running back out. Now he's got a little bit of room. He's going to roll to the right. He comes straight back up the middle to the 20, to the 15, to the 10. Bounces off a couple of guys. He is down at the 9-yard line. And Jordan, you called it, but it looks like Carlisle has a little bit of the run in him.
No, but it makes my heart happy to see a quarterback that's not afraid to put his shoulder down and go into contact.
Yeah, and he really seized on that opportunity. He saw the field very well on that one and went to the run very quickly.
He did, and it was a good job, too, by his team. I think they almost drew that up, too, of if you have to scramble, you can roll out this way because he had his receiver deep, and there was really no one to cover over there on that right side of the field.
Yeah, it looked like they sent Devontae Jacobs out of the backfield to the right side, and he went down on the wheel route and cleared the whole side of the field up for it turned out to be Carlisle on the run. So now, to your point, Jordan, they're inside the 10. So now it becomes important. Maybe you got to get the 7 and not the 3.
Yeah, I think at this point you're thinking 6. If you walk away with anything less than that, it's disappointment.
It's a planned run by Carlisle, but he is tripped up in the backfield and retired on the 10-yard line. So Carlisle was feeling his oats there and went for it, Jordan, but good defensive play by the Panthers.
Yeah, good play by Jamari Jackson. Just grabbed that ankle right there, and that's the most frustrating thing is ball carry when you get an ankle biter because you're like, I was free, and then all of a sudden my legs just weren't under me anymore.
Yeah, and I think he was free. I think that you nailed it right there, Jordan, because I think Carlisle had his head up and he was looking far beyond the ankle tackle by Jamari. So here we go, 2nd down and goal from the 10 now as Carlisle looks to the sidelines to get the play call. Jacobs to his right. 3 receivers to the left to the wide side of the field. Carlisle with the ball goes back, looks to the left corner. There's a throw to that left corner. They go up in an excellent defensive play by the defensive back by the Panthers. He went up with the receiver and batted that ball away.
Yeah, Elijah King, good job. It looked like he didn't know where that ball was. He just put his hands up there. The great thing about that play, too, is he did not know where the ball was. He didn't have his head turned, but he did a great job to not make too much contact, but enough to force that incompletion.
Excellent point. A lot of times you'll see that on games at every level. You'll see the defensive back is there, but he just doesn't know where the ball is, and he either commits the penalty or just loses the ball. And that time he did an excellent job of locating the ball, probably from the movements of the wide receiver. So here we are, 3rd and goal now from the 10. 2 receivers out right, 2 out left. And Carlisle rolling out to his left. He's under pressure. He's lost the ball. It's going to be picked up. It's going to be covered by the Panthers. So Carlisle rolled out to his left, couldn't find the guy, kept rolling out, was hit, and lost the ball. And a big error for the Beavers as the Panthers will take over, having given up no points, and they've got 1st and 10 on their 20.
Boy, that is about as disastrous as a drive and that you could have had if you were the Beavers. I mean, that was one of those plays right there where you were one play away from, at the very least, salvaging 3 points out of that. Instead, Mason Allemeyer falls on the loose ball, and all of a sudden it's Panther football. And you got to think all the momentum in this stadium right now is on that Panther sideline.
Yeah, it looked like Carlisle was looking for the quick hit there. When he didn't get it, he pulled the ball back, decided to go to his left, didn't really have the running lane he wanted, and he was hit when he wasn't expecting it. So 1st down on the 18, it turns out, for the Panthers. 6:37 to go, 1st half. Panthers leading this one 7-3. Partee has been in the shotgun all game long. He's going to hand that ball off. Breaks a tackle, comes out to the 20 to 21, and a big pile now at about the 22-yard line. So it's going to be a gain of about 4, and we will check and see who is the running back. They've had a couple of different running backs for Sac City. A couple of them have been pretty successful so far as we look at a 2nd and 6.
And that one looks like it was Frazier, so he's getting back in there, getting some carries.
Out of Elk Grove, so Trayvon Frazier. We've also seen Williams. We've also seen Superior, although he left with an injury, and we hope he's going to be all right. But 2nd down now and 6 yards to go from the 22-yard line. 6 minutes even to go in the 1st half. Partee motions one of his wide receivers in motion. Then he goes back to pass, look to his left. Good pressure and a sack back on the 6-yard line by the American River College Beavers.
That was a great pressure delivered. I don't know who called that blitz, but Luke Jaksic, the linebacker, coming off the edge right there.
Yeah, and they tried to, the quarterback, Partee, tried to spin out to go back to his left, but Luke was having none of that. And a huge play, and just, Jordan, the kind of play the Beavers desperately needed.
Yeah, huge play. I mean, that flips field position now. And, again, if you're forcing a punt right here, now you're fielding that punt at the 50. And with the way that Freeman's been returning the ball, I think you got to be pretty happy about that sack right there. That's huge.
3rd down and 18 yards to go now. Split receivers to the left. One of them in motion now as Partee's back to pass. Looks to his left. He's got pressure, moving everybody around. He's going to throw it out to the flat, complete but closed in on by American River College, and there's going to be a tackle at about the 15-yard line. So good job by the Beavers. Easy when they didn't get him right away, Jordan, to kind of get lax, but they really closed in on that receiver.
Yeah, you know what the most impressive thing about that play was right there is right when the Beaver defensive line noticed it was a screen pass, did you see how they all kind of backed off of that rush for a second? They just sent one in there to go after the quarterback, and then the rest of them backed off and were focused on that that running back out there in the flat.
Yeah, good discipline by the defensive line. Good job by the defensive line and the linebackers. Well, let's say the whole defense of the Old 11 to push the Panthers back after they got a huge momentum boost by recovering the fumble. 4:25 to go. Punter is on his own goal line. Freeman back at about the 45. High snap handled. The kick is short, and it's going to take that big bounce, Jordan. But this one bounces back toward the other way and is covered right about the 48-yard line, 49-yard line of the Sac City College Panthers.
And it looks like there was another little bit of extracurriculars. Jaden Alexander gave a little shove there after the play. I think he didn't like how long he was being blocked for when the play was over, but the ref never sees the first offense. They always see the second one.
Yeah, and that's a key play, too, because you've got first down on the 49-yard line, and now if you're going to get, I'm assuming, a personal foul, that's going to be 15 more yards. That will take them back to about their own 36-37, but we'll wait and see what the call is. As the Beavers forcing that punt, which wasn't a great punt by the Sac City standards because they've been getting a lot of rolls on it, but that one did not give the roll, and it is going to be against the Beavers.
And that's one of those undisciplined plays that, you know, maybe you don't make that penalty later in the season, but the emotions are running a little bit high and you get caught up in the heat of the moment, but you think Alexander's going to want that one back.
Yeah, that's going to be one the coaches will talk to him about. So it will be first down on the far sideline or far hash mark on the 37-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 on the 37. 4:06 to go, and Jordan, I think the Beavers have to put a sustained drive together, obviously, for the points and for themselves.
Yeah, they do. Sac City's defense looked a little shaky in the beginning of this one, but they look solid now.
Carlisle with a nice pass out to Freeman, and Freeman's going to pick up about 11 yards. And so Carlisle rolled to his right, and Jordan, he looked more confident on that throw.
Yeah, he did. Maybe he just needed a series or two to settle in, you know, see what the defense was throwing at him. I mean, I think a couple of those scrambles in the last one, I know the drive didn't end well, but I think he had some confidence, like, okay, I can move the ball on these guys.
Yeah, and that one, he just looked more confident just moving before he even threw the ball. So hopefully that's a sign of things to come, as Freeman has been in the key component in a lot of the big plays for the Beavers. Handoff up the middle. That is Avante Jacobson. Avante gets in there for about 8 yards to the 42-yard line of the Panthers as we are 3:35 to go here in the second quarter. You're listening to American River College football on the Stones Radio Networks on the YouTube, and we also have the American River College YouTube as well. Coming to you for all American River College home sporting events. There's the snap, handed off again in the backfield, going around to right side, and it's going to be just a 1-yard gain. I don't think that Avante Jacobs is going to be picking up the first down. He covered a lot of ground, Jordan, but didn't get a lot of yards.
No, but, you know, the holes are starting to open up a little bit, and he's able to find the edge, something he hasn't quite gotten to do yet. Looks like we're going to have a new running back coming in there for the Beavers. That's 34, Torrey Hendrick out of Folsom.
Out of Folsom, yeah. So 3rd down and 1. Obviously a big play here with 2:53 to go as they're looking over to the Beaver sidelines to get the play in.
Hey, you know what I love when you look at the Beaver sideline? It's the two the two other quarterbacks that aren't playing. I guess I don't want to say backup when you're platooning. They're giving the play.
Hand up the middle. He's going to get. Looks like he got to the 40-yard line, and if so, that's going to give him enough for a first down. So it was that Hendrick going up the middle there, getting enough for the first down.
And they're saying 4th down.
No, they're moving the chains now.
They
they just didn't have a lot of communication there because one guy doesn't want to move the chains and the other guy does. So we'll see what happens here as they are right at the 40, and there goes our second guy. Our front man didn't want to go down to the 30. I guess he has bad memories of the 30-yard line, and we are ready to go here. One back there with Matt Carlisle. 3 receivers to the left, show blitz from Sac City, and now they back off. Carlisle back, he's got time. He looks down the left side. He's got a guy breaking open, but the throw is a little bit too high. It'll be 2nd down.
And they're getting a flag. That's a tough call for Sac City. I think you have a pretty good argument that was not a catchable ball, but Either way, you're giving American River a free 15 yards right there.
So the flag on the play on the receiver, but yeah, I agree with you, Jordan. I don't think it was catchable, but I don't know if that's a factor in junior college. And the other factor, it's not a spot foul like in the pros. It's just, I believe, a 15-yard penalty, so we will be going back down to about the 25-yard line if that's the case. As a break right there for American River College. And Jordan, they've had a couple of breaks in this first half, haven't taken advantage yet.
No, they haven't. One thing I'm noticing, too, and I think you got to look for American River's offense, Sac City's DBs are really pressing these American River receivers, and if one of them can get a release on it, then he's going to be wide open down the field. And you got to think ARC is going to start taking a few more stabs down the field.
And we noticed on the last drive, remember we had one time where the wide receiver was cutting across the middle, and he was open on that play, so he gets him going down the sideline and then cuts it back to the middle. We'll see if we get that. So first down on the 30, we're going to take a minute to get the chains in place. It's a 10-yard holding penalty. And the Carlisle rolls to his left. He's got a guy breaking open, but it's too far ahead of him. It was a down and out play for the Beavers, and it was missed, so it's 2nd and 10 on the 30-yard line.
Good pressure there by Isaiah Byers, kind of forced Carlisle to throw that ball a little earlier than he wanted to. But again, Carlisle's kind of settled in. He's seen this pressure now. He's making some better decisions, and he's not panicking and holding on to the ball like he was in that first series.
Jordan Grayson Barnes, the tight end out of Rockland, comes back on the field. I've noticed a lot of having the right-handed quarterbacks roll to their left, and that is a very tough throw. And some of these guys obviously can make it, but that is a tougher throw for a quarterback. 2nd down now on the 30-yard line. In the shotgun is Matt Carlisle. He's looking to his left. He's got a guy breaking open. It's complete. Got the first down, it looks like, and he's going to be knocked down. Now he wasn't knocked down. He's still going. He's going to get down to about the 15 or 16-yard line.
And who else but Barnes? I guess that's why they put him in there. Great move by Barnes. He's kind of showed that shiftiness a little bit in both of his receptions so far today.
Yeah, good out route. Very quick hitter for Carlisle. He hit Barnes easily, and Barnes didn't want to go down there as he got himself a couple of extra yards. Got the ball all the way down to the 15-yard line. So a big gain for the Beavers. And Jordan, we've been in the position before. You got to have it, and they are coming down to the end of the second quarter, first half, if you will, and they got to have this one with Carlisle in the shotgun. Fakes the handoff. Now he's going to go back to the back that he faked the handoff to. He's got it, but he is leveled by the defensive back, and the ball gets away. We'll see if there was an incomplete pass or it was ruled a fumble. It was a fake, I believe, to Avante Jacobs, and then a pass back to Jacobs. He made the catch, and he was hit immediately.
Yeah, that safety read that all the way. That was the definition of a hospital pass, but I don't think the quarterback or running back knew it was a hospital pass at the time.
So it's going to be ruled, I think, an incomplete pass. So we'll be 2nd down at the 15-yard line. In theory, it's good. Yeah, fake the handoff. Maybe they forget about the running back. And we're going to have a timeout here with 1:10 to go. Maybe they forget about the running back. But the problem with it, I thought, Jordan, is the ball had to be sailed out there a little bit and gave him time.
Yeah, that ball's a little more straight. I think that's 6 points for the Beavers, but it was floated, allowed that safety to read and adjust and deliver the big hit. And it looks like we finally have a timeout on the field. I was wondering, with 1:10 left, you're in the red zone, you have all 3 timeouts. I was wondering when ARC was going to start using those timeouts and start slowing things down a little bit, make sure that the Panthers don't get the ball back or at least have minimal time to work with before the half.
And the other side of that, though, Jordan, I think you'll agree, is that if you feel like you're in some sort of a groove, you don't want to take your quarterback out of that groove. Now, you did have an incomplete pass right there, and the guy got his bell rung, so maybe it's a good time to kind of take stock of the situation as we go back out to 2nd down. The Panthers come up with the big hit, and we've noticed that, that is football, but there have been a lot of big hits. There's a lot of great defensive play going on here tonight.
Yeah, a lot of great defensive play, and that's why I think this drive is paramount for the Beavers, because 1:10 left, you're down by 4 points right now. If you punch this one in, it can be 10-7. You're receiving the second half kickoff. You have a chance to make this a 2-score swing right now. And with the way these defenses are playing, you can't be leaving points on the board.
That's a great point you make about they deferred at the beginning of the game, and so they will have possession. So this, I think, it makes it an even more important possession for the Beavers. They've got to go ahead. They've threatened. They've been knocking on heaven's door. Haven't got through heaven's door yet. And so now they've got kind of reassess the situation, coming back out for the 2nd down. With Carlisle in the shotgun, Jacobs to his right. A couple of receivers out right, nobody to the left. He rolls right. He's going to look to that corner of the end zone. He throws to a breaking receiver. I think he might have been out of bounds, but he is out of bounds. The catch was made, but too tight over there. It looked like it was Barthel out of Oak Ridge, but he was out of bounds, ruled by the ref, and it'll be 3rd down.
Yeah, and Barthel's trying to plead his case that wasn't out of bounds, but it did look pretty damning evidence right there that he was out.
Yeah, when we can tell when we're looking down there right here that the guy looks like he's out of bounds. When the throw was made, I think they just didn't quite have enough room over there in the corner. That's a big third down coming up now, because even if there is a field goal, it's going to be a 32-yarder from right here. Showing pressure by Sac City. They look like they're going to come in, and now we've got a penalty. And I think it might have been a wideout going too soon, and that would be a tough penalty for the Beavers. And it is a false start by the Beavers, and I do think it was the wideout trying to get that extra half step, Jordan.
Yeah, I think it was. And, right now TNA Fridge, I think, has some of these wide receivers with some happy feet. He has been locking down the American River wideouts so far in this one. And like you said, this actually might make a potential field goal a little easier. It's 37 yards, but the fact that it's on the hash mark now, it's a little more of a forgiving angle if you end up having to kick.
The other thing, I think they give themselves up a little more room now offensively to kind of move around. They were kind of cramped there on the 15-yard line. So here it is. Carlisle back, throws it across the middle. It is up in the air. It's caught. And it is a touchdown for American River College. The Beavers have scored.
Boy, Grayson Barnes showing off the hands. An impressive catch there by the Rockland product.
Grayson Barnes with the touchdown, the first one of the season, and a big play and a desperately needed play by the Beavers. He flashed across the middle. The ball was thrown high, but it had to be Jordan. And the key there is he had it, and then he held on to it when he was hit by a couple of DBs and comes down with 6 points.
Yeah, perfectly placed ball by Carlisle. And then when Barnes kind of absorbed that first hit and he was waddling with the ball, I think he didn't realize how close he was to the goal line.
Schreiner here for the extra point. It is 9-7. Snap is a little low. Schreiner comes through, kicks it up. It looks good. It is good. So a big score right there for American River, 10-7. They lead. It's 56 seconds to go, and I guess, as we said, Jordan, American River gets the ball to start the second half, so you obviously want to stop Sac City right here. So the key here is good kickoff coverage.
Yeah, and the other thing, too, Sac City hasn't really shown a lot throwing the ball yet, so you're kind of forcing Sac City. They do have 3 timeouts left, but they've really been a running team so far in this one. So the nice thing is that you are essentially forcing a team that's not comfortable throwing the ball right now to throw it. Of course, they've had a few passing attempt or a few quarterback dropbacks, but it feels like every time Party drops back, he's getting met by 3 or 4 American River D linemen.
And I think that you've got to go ahead and make sure you don't overcommit now, because that 56 seconds, you want to bend but not break a little bit. The key, obviously, getting that kickoff from Schreiner, getting it down, into Sac City territory, keeping them in that territory. But then you want to go ahead and you got the biggest moment of the first half. You just got it. You want to go ahead and be able to enjoy it, and that is you got to back it up. You got to validate it.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing is momentum can flip so quickly, especially in college football, and you see way too often teams steal the momentum like that, and they almost get complacent, like, okay, we're good, it's in our favor now, and then one big play can swing it right back in the other side.
Well, to your point, Jordan, we've seen that a couple times in this game. We've had a couple of fumbles. We've given one team the momentum. We had a score from Sac City, and then they got ahead and had a turnover down here, and they couldn't capitalize on that, and then American River comes back. So we've seen a lot of momentum plays, and the momentum hasn't really shifted that much. Kick down to about the 10-yard line. Pickett on the 8-yard line for Sac City. Coming up the middle, now cutting to the right side. Staying in the middle, getting out to the outside. Still on his feet all the way down to midfield and into American River College territory all the way to the 45. So if you're a Beaver supporter, Jordan, that's exactly what you didn't want to see.
Oh, no, but there is a flag down there around the 35-yard line. I have to think this one might be coming back.
That would be a stroke of good luck for the Beavers, as it was an excellent return by the Panthers, but well seen by Jordan. It is a penalty on the play at the 35, which would be a 10-yarder. So it'll get them back to the 25 with 46 seconds to go in the second quarter. Beavers lead this one 10-7. First game of the 2022 season. Not back at home here at Beaver Stadium for 3 weeks on the 24th, entertaining College of San Mateo, who in the Coaches Bowl ranked number 4 in the state. So the Beavers taking off in the next 2 weeks. They take on Laney next week, and then I believe Fresno, both ranked in the top 10 or 11, I believe. Laney's 14, and Fresno was 11, and they come back at number 4, San Mateo. So not dodging anybody when you're an American River College Beaver.
No, the Beavers will be battle-tested. And one thing, that really is a back-breaking penalty for Sac City, because that's really a 25-yard penalty if you really think about it.
And takes 10 seconds off the clock as well. So Partee, he's been in there the whole time for the Panthers. He's behind center in the shotgun. He's going to hand it off to his right. Good hole over there on the right side. Good tackle after about a 6-yard gain for Sac City.
Trayvon Frazier brought down by.
It looks like they're going no huddle. You got to think they're going to start
Well,
using
the
these
clock is
timeouts
running
here.
down 30 seconds, and they seem to be in no hurry, Jordan. So I think they'll probably, if they do, run one more play, and that'll basically be it. And I can see on some level that coaches, after the first half of the first game, they just want to get you into the locker room and just want to talk to you.
Yeah, and I believe that's exactly what they're going to do because there's 2 more seconds on the play clock than there are on the game clock, and it looks like that's going to be the first half of this one.
There you go. So 7 seconds, 6. They're counting it down. That'll be the halftime score. Will be American River on that late touchdown pass to Grayson Barnes, 10, and Sac City 7. We're going to step away for the halftime break. We'll be back with about 5 minutes to go in the halftime break with a little bit of first half recap and getting us ready for the second half. But for right now, again, your score, American River College 10 and Sac City 7. We'll be back in a couple of minutes with more ARC football right here on the Stones Radio Networks.
Shine bright like a diamond. Fine light in the beautiful sea. I chose to be happy. You and I, we're like diamonds in the sky. You're a shooting star, I see, a vision of ecstasy. When you hold me, I'm alive. We're like diamonds in the sky. I knew that we'd become one right away. Oh, right away. At first sight, I felt the energy of something. I saw the life inside your eyes. Tonight, you and I were beautiful like diamonds in the sky. I so alive. We're beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. We're beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. We're beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Palms rise to the universe as we moonshine and Mali. Feel the warmth, we'll never die. We're like diamonds in the sky. You're a shooting star, I see, a vision of ecstasy. When you hold me, I'm alive. We're like diamonds in the sky. At first sight, I felt the energy of something. I saw the life inside your eyes. Tonight, you and I were beautiful like diamonds in the sky. I so alive. We're beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. We're beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. We're beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. So shine bright tonight. You and I were beautiful like diamonds in the sky. I so alive. We're beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond.
It is the first week of the college football season. Just a quick check of the scoreboard from other ongoing football action today. Some top 25 college football action underway. Just wrapping up. Michigan State with the 51-7 win over Colorado State. Also, NC State out in front by 7 over East Carolina. And we do have a game delay. Texas A&M versus Sam Houston. Texas A&M up 17-0. Also, some other big games getting underway in Atlanta shortly. Number 3, Georgia will welcome the number 11 Oregon Ducks. Also, 12:30 starts today. Number 9, Oklahoma versus UTEP. Number 16, Miami versus Bethune-Cookman. Number 19, Arkansas versus 23, Cincinnati. And number 24, Houston at UTSA. A couple of games kicking off at 1 o'clock today. Number 21, Ole Miss versus Troy. And number 25, BYU at South Florida.
Good times, these are the
And we are back, American River College and Sac City College from Beaver Stadium on the campus of American River Community College. My name is Mark the Phantom Lowe. I am here with Jordan Georgeson of Gold Country Media. And Jordan, when people, just so people know your work, you're a journalist. You cover the high school beat primarily. So where can people read your stuff?
GoldCountryMedia.com. I'm primarily with the Auburn Journal, but I actually just got promoted. I technically have a new title now. I'm the Placer Sports Team Lead. I don't quite know what that means.
I don't know if I like it.
I don't either.
It sounds like a cult or something, but no, that's good. Congratulations and everything.
So I will have articles now. I'm with Gold Country Media, but I'll have stuff in the Placer Herald as well, Roseville Tribune, Lincoln News Messenger, and like we talked about before, I'm still trying to crack my way into Folsom. They haven't let me in yet. I don't think I've fooled them enough to be like, you can't get in the prestigious Folsom paper.
They're tremendously bright over there in Folsom. Okay, enough about you. Let's talk about the first half. American River College with that late score from Carlisle to Barnes to take the 10-7 lead. And overall, give me an impression for each ball club.
Defense has been the impression. It's been an ugly offensive first half. I don't know if as much of it is a testament to just bad offense as much as it is to good defense. American River's been held to only 3 receptions in that first half. They're just 3 of 12 passing the ball, 1 of 4 for Lewis and 2 of 8 for Carlisle. So, the defense in the secondary, Sac City's been tremendous, but the turnovers have been a real problem in this one. And both teams have turned the ball over at just poor times. American River left points on the board there, and then they also turned it over in the end zone on a botched punt and gave Sac City the ball inside the goal line, or pretty much inside the 10-yard line. So turnovers are something that's going to need to be calmed down. I think some simple mistakes like, uncharacteristic penalties and maybe some of the chippiness away from the ball. I think now that the first half has been played, they're kind of reeled in a little more. I'm interested to see the adjustment both coaching staffs are going to make, especially countering the blitzes that we've seen from the defense.
Yeah, I think when you look at defense, I think the 2 units that impressed me are the defensive line of American River and then later on the defensive line of Sac City, but also the Sac City defensive backs. They're an aggressive group and they're a physical group, and I think that, they did give up the touchdown pass at the end there, but I think that they are a physical, aggressive group, and I think that bodes well for them. And as far as offensive standouts for American River College, I would put Robert Freeman and Grayson Barnes in that category as far as 2 guys who really struck out to me.
Yeah, I'd put Freeman and Barnes as a 2. Jacobs had a few decent runs as well. He kind of picked it up in that last drive too. I actually think Carlisle, he's had a tough hand that he's been dealt so far with the protection he's gotten, but he's shown some composure in there, and the 2 for 8 stat line throwing, it's not really reflective of how he's played because a lot of the times he's had to get rid of that ball very quickly because he's got a guy in his face and he doesn't have time to look for his second option.
Yeah, all incompletions are not created equal, and I think we got to give both quarterbacks, where all the quarterbacks have been Partee also for Sac City. Interesting to see if they will go. They have a couple other quarterbacks on their roster, not suggesting that Ben Partee's not good or anything, but just the first game of the season, you wonder if you get a look at somebody else. But I think Carlisle, to me, adapted better to the way that he was being rushed as far as having escapability than Lewis did in the first quarter.
Yeah, I think so too. Carlisle kind of has shown that he's not afraid to tuck that ball and run, and I think Lewis isn't afraid to do so either, but Carlisle feels like he's a lot more comfortable doing it. You can tell he was more of a running style quarterback or a dual threat type of guy in high school, whereas Lewis was more of a gunslinger.
And also got a knee injury that ended his senior season, so maybe a little bit still, it's been a while since then, but maybe still a little bit hesitant about going out and running. So the teams are coming back onto the field to get ready for the second half, and if you were to look at each team, to go back into the locker room with each team, what do you think that Sac City, offensively, what do you think that Coach Walker told his team?
I think they need to find a way to either start hitting on these screen passes or find a way to give Partee more time back there to throw, because we've said they don't have a ton of passing attempts. They've had a lot of times where Partee's dropped back and then a lot of times where he's gotten hit. I think if you're Sac City, your biggest thing is you need to find a way to get more protection for your quarterback, or you need to find a way to get those screen passes more effective to counter that blitz.
A lot of times in baseball, when they get to the All-Star game or even when they're in spring training, they say, well, the pitchers are ahead of the hitters. And I think that's a situation that we find ourselves today. The defense is ahead of the offense right now because defense, let's face it, a lot of it is just aggression and quickness and reaction, and not a lot of execution, but just going out and being athletic. And I think both teams have plenty of guys that can do that. What they need is, on the other side of the ball, some execution.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the biggest thing, especially if you're American River, what you're saying when you get into the locker room then is, guys, we just ended up getting that ball. We caught a huge break. The penalty didn't hurt us. We ended up scoring a touchdown, taking the lead. Now we're getting the ball back, start second half. We need not a field goal. We need to punch this one into the end zone, make this a 2-score game, because with the way their defense is playing, I don't know if I'm confident that Sac City can get 2 more scores.
Well, you've seen it a lot in high school, covering high school. When you get a stud guy in high school, you go away from him, and Robert Freeman has been the stud return guy for American River College today, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Sac City not try to kick the ball to Robert directly on this second half kickoff.
No, I wouldn't either. I mean, I think the majority of American River's all-purpose yards in this one have come from returns.
Yeah, it's come from Robert Freeman out of El Cerrito. As we said, Grayson Barnes, the tight end from Rockland. He has the only touchdown for American River College. Ben Partee with the touchdown for Sac City. That was a 1-yard plunge that they got after they turned over the Beavers trying to punt out of their own end zone. A low snap that was scooped up by the punter, tried to run away, and he was caught down at the 5-yard line, and Sac City used a couple of plays and went in for their first touchdown, only touchdown of the game and of the season. And we go ready to get out here in the second half, although the scoreboard is gone now. It's blank, so maybe they're just kind of resting, waiting for the second half. I can understand that. That will happen occasionally. So Robert Freeman is back to receive. Alejandro Rojas is the kicker for Sac City.
I believe that's actually Deonta Sr., who's listed as a wide receiver.
Doing the kicking?
Doing the kickoff duties. I believe Rojas is doing the field goals and extra points, but I believe it's Senior that's actually kicking it deep for the Panthers.
Deonta Senior, number 88 out of Vacaville, is doing the kicking off for Sac City, and now we have the scoreboard back, and I think we'll have the second half action coming up from Beaver Stadium on the campus of American River College. Mark Phantom Lowe and Jordan Georgeson here for Stones Radio Networks on the Stones Radio Networks YouTube and Facebook. Also, American River College YouTube. Excited to be hooked up with them for this game. Thought it might take us a couple, but we are hooked up for this game, and we'll be able to bring you all the home action for American River College football on their YouTube. And here is the kickoff by Senior going down to Freeman. Taken down there at the 10-yard line, coming up the left side, cutting back, and then a good tackle at about the 22-yard line by Sac City, and that's where the Beavers will start it, although there is injury on the play.
That was a great tackle there by Lorenzo Swain out of Valley High School in Sacramento. Great job by him. We do have an injured Panther down there, but Swain just kind of flew down. Then he ended up just catching a little bit of Freeman, but I think his strength was enough. We do have a flag, it looks like, down here on this side of the field, and I'm wondering if they got maybe a Sac City guy offsides or something.
Well, is that a flag or is that just some yellow shoes? That happens a lot at this level. So we are still waiting for the injured player, but you were right. It is it's going to be called illegal procedure on the kicking team, which could have been offsides, like you say.
I believe the man down is Jordan Totten for the Panthers, a linebacker from Consumnes Oaks High School, another Elk Grove kid.
Hoping it's just a cramp again as he went down right up to play. And you mentioned Lorenzo Swain. Jordan, as you know, that's the way, if you're on the special team, that's the way you get noticed. You know, you come down there, you fly down there, you make a tackle, a big tackle like that, and that gets the coaches noticing. Now, junior college, they carry seemingly an endless supply of players, probably close to 70 or 80 on both of these squads. So you want to stand out if you're not a guy who's in the starting rotation. You want to go ahead and make a play and stand out, and that's what Lorenzo Swain did.
Well, especially at a level like this where, you know, these guys are, they may be playing at the JUCO level, but these guys are Division I caliber players. There are future D1 players out here that we'll be watching on Saturdays, and honestly, it's possible a few of them maybe on Sundays. So,
well, it's only the first game of the season, Jordan. Let's not go crazy putting everybody in the pros already. I know you're a young guy, and you like to call them as you see them. I think we might have a re-kick here, as the Beavers not real happy with that 22-yard line for field position. They're going to request we do a do-over.
Yeah, and you know, why wouldn't you when Freeman is averaging getting you the ball around midfield for over half of his returns? I think if you give him another shot out there, why not?
Well, I think Freeman went back to coaching and goes, somebody go ahead and get 25. Somebody block him. I don't want him back in my face.
Well, I think 25 doesn't make that tackle. I think Freeman is getting around midfield on that.
Well, we'll see. They're going to be kicking it off from the 30-yard line now, so hopefully maybe Robert can come around the 15 or 20-yard line and take it from there and get a good start. 14:55 to go, still trying to get going here in the third quarter. Beavers lead at 10-7 from Beaver Stadium. First game of the 2022 season, and here is the kick again by Senior, and that will go down to about the 15-yard line to Freeman. He's going to go right back up the middle, 30, trying to cut outside, and he's down about the 34-yard line. So good return, aided by the penalty. A good field position.
Tackled by number 28.
An extra
To the
10 yards.
34.
Dominguez.
Looks like Isaac Dominguez out of Rio Linda made that tackle for Sac City. So you expect, well, let's see which quarterback we have here. I think we might have Kenny Lewis again.
I believe that is Lewis. So I expect to see the passing game working a little more in this one. Lewis is almost a little bit of a hybrid between a game manager and a gunslinger. He's shown that he can do a little bit of both, and I think that's enough to keep. He looked like he had Sac City's defense a little more on their heels and a little more. They could predict him a little less than they could with Carlisle.
Well, he's back there now in the shotgun, got a back behind him. He turns to hand it off. I think that is Jacobs running to his left, still on his feet, trying to get back to the line of scrimmage. I don't think he made it. I think he's tackled in the backfield at about the 32-yard line by a host of Sac City Panthers. That'll bring up second 11. You know, Jordan, I was talking to Coach O a couple of days ago, and he told me, he said, I got two quarterbacks I'm going to play. And I said, you're going to alternate them by series, by quarter, by half? He said, I don't know. So he was still trying to figure it out. So far, it's Lewis in the first, it's Carlisle in the second, and now Kenny is back for the third.
Yeah, I think at this point, too, especially in a game that's close, I think you don't have it designated a quarter or anything like that. I think second half you ride the hot hand, and if Lewis starts separating or if Carlisle starts separating, that's a guy you got to ride for the rest of the game.
Second and 11 now from the 31-yard line. Make it second and 12. Turning the handoff, and it goes back up the middle, trying to kick loose, and maybe back to the original line of scrimmage there. So it'll come up to be 3rd and 10 for the Beavers.
Sac City front seven has shown that they can handle the run so far, and you got to think Lewis is putting the ball in the air here.
Yeah, and then they've also shown that at least the front four have shown a good penetration in this, I think primarily in the second quarter. So a lot of things for the American River College coaching staff to think about when they signal this play into Kenny Lewis. The 6'4" quarterback out of Rockland High School. A good story, injured his senior year, missed most of his senior year, and now he is trying it out here at American River College. Showing blitz by Sac City. They bring an extra couple of guys. Lewis has got to try to escape. He is not going to be able to do so, and he is going to be sacked right about the 28-yard line of American River College. So, Jordan, they're doing just what we thought they might do, and that's the Sac City College front line.
Yeah, and I believe that was Marshawn Hunter once again ending up being the guy who got the sack on it. Of course, there was a lot of dudes in the backfield back there. The pressure was led by, I believe it was Mario Keenan, number 99. And, you know, Sac City's, that defense just did a great job. I think Lewis at that point, the only move he could do was protect the ball and make sure that he didn't fumble.
Absolutely. Sac City doing what they talked about, you know, in the locker room, which is come out and get a 3 and out here. And they took a couple of penalties, but they got it. And I think he might have a fake here as we've got 3 blockers and just 1 defender. But here closes another one, stays on his feet, and he's not going to get the first down. He is going to be about a yard short as the punter took off down the right side. Now we have altercation on the American River College side as the number 24 there. That is Marcus Mendoza from Florin came over and made a fine play as it was 1 against 3 blockers, but the second defender came in and dropped the runner, and it's going to be Sac City taking over. Great field position on the American River College 40-yard line.
I don't know if I love that play call. Alden Bisarevich did the best that he could there. It almost looked like he was going for a rugby-style punt, and then he just kept going and kept going. It almost looked like one of those, is this a fake or is this one of those where you get in trouble and you just give a little pooch kick? But I don't know if I love that play call with how far you had to go.
He had 3 blockers in front of him, and I think he thought a numbers game he could make it, but a good defensive play by the Panthers. They take over. Partee still in there, hands it up the middle, kicking out of there and down for about a 2-yard gain.
I believe that was Otha Williams.
That's Otha Williams, number 16. So Otha came on in the first half. He's out of Monterey Trail. Looked like he was going to kick away there, Jordan, but he's taken down after a gain of about 2.
And that's kind of been the story of this one. Jacobs had the same thing where it looks like you're going to break free and it ends up a 2-yard gain.
Okay, so second down and 8 yards to go. Partee in the shotgun with Williams. Split wide receivers right and left. Now he's going to throw, goes back. He's got time. He's got a lot of time. Finally breaks down. He's going to go to the right corner, and it is complete at about the 20-yard line, out of bounds for a first down for Sac City.
That was a strike to Jonathan Brennis. That's really the most time Party's had to throw all game, and He made the Beaver defense pay for it.
Yeah, Jonathan Brennis out of Vanden, which was, I think, a state champion last year in Division III. But you're right, had all the time in the world, just beginning to get some penetration, and he is a receiver. Gave the receiver time enough to make that pattern and go down and out to the right. So first down
at the 20-yard line.
on the 20-yard line, 11:24 to go, third quarter, 10-7 for American River College, but Sac City is driving. Partee with Williams behind him. In motion across the formation, he goes back to pass. He's got time. Looks to his left, goes out to the sideline, and it's a completion. A diving catch by number 17 out there. That is Nick Pine out of Vacaville. And again, Jordan, a lot of time.
Yeah, all of a sudden that American River defensive front's having a tough time penetrating the Sac City O-line. Sac City O-line's a big unit. I mean, it looks like they should be able to contain these defensive linemen, and they look like they're starting to do so.
Yeah, first down and goal on the 7-yard line. A couple of long throws by Partee. He's thrown the ball out to on the wideouts twice in a row here, but he's had time to do so, and he showed the arm. So first and goal to go on the 7. Single running back behind the shotgun for Partee. In motion on the right, he's going to pass. He's going to go out to the right flat. He's going to be hit from behind by the right defensive end for the Beavers, and the sack at the 16-yard line.
And I believe that was number 55 there on the sack.
Donovan Laban, yes, from Grant High School, and Coach O talked to me about him a couple of days ago. He said he's a returner they're looking to for leadership. Also, Jaden Alexander in the backfield the same way, but Laban with a big play right there to put him back at the 15-yard line in second and goal. Another pass play, Jordan, it looked like for Sac City.
Yeah, and that time the American River defense front brought that pressure back again, and now all of a sudden you're back in Sac City back.
Partee in the shotgun. Second and goal from the 15. 9:53 to go, third quarter. He's straight pass into the left corner of the end zone, up in the air, and I think he is out of bounds. The catch is made, but a good play by the defensive back who shoved the receiver out of bounds while he was up in the air to make it an incomplete pass. And so that's all he could do there as the receiver was open, but a good play by the defensive back. Push him out of bounds for ARC.
Jaden Alexander on that play. I mean, he got burned on the route, and then he just ends up playing it perfect, timing it perfect, and getting those feet out of bounds. He knew he didn't have a play on the ball rather than pass interference. He just gets him out.
Third and goal from the 15. Huge play here, Jordan, obviously for the Panthers. Press coverage on the corners by the Beaver defense. Partee back to pass. Going to go over the middle. He's got a guy breaking open the throw. Did he make the catch? He did. It's a touchdown for Sac City. Ran a guy up the seam on the right side, hit him right inside the back corner of the end zone. Get a number on the receiver there, Jordan.
I believe that was number 19, Jonathan Brennis.
So Brennis has been a thorn in the side for American River College on that drive out of Vanden, and he's the one who pulls in the touchdown.
A great job by Brennis to control that ball, too. It looked like he might have bobbled it at first, but he ended up getting control and getting those feet down.
Rojas for the extra point. The kick is up, and it is off the left upright, so it is no good. That makes it a 13-10 game right there. And I think the key on that Sac City play, Jordan, on a 3rd and 15, that guy was pretty wide open for being down and by the end zone.
Yeah, he was. I think he just ended up having a little hesitation on that route, beat his defender, and he was right there. I think they drew it up just like that, and he was expecting that ball.
So 13-10 now in favor of Sac City as they come out and make a statement. They stop American River on their first drive and come all the way down the field. A couple of big plays. They turned it a little bit over more to Ben Partee, gave him some time, and I think, Jordan, he showed you why he was a coveted transfer out of Santa Monica.
Yeah, he's definitely shown that, especially in this second half. They've made some adjustments on offense, and they seem a little more happy and ready to throw that football out there.
So that makes it key for the Beavers now to come out here, receiving this kickoff from our left to our right, and they will be trying to get a good return, probably Robert Freeman back there, but also number 2 for American River College. That's Avante Jacobs going back. So Jacobs and Freeman will be the deep backs for the Beavers as they try to get some good field position and try to get something going, something Jordan sustained offensively.
Yeah, they really need to find a rhythm here. I mean, they squandered a big opportunity. American River could have been up 17-7 after that first drive, and instead they end up getting the turnover on downs after the fake punt. and it's 13-10 Panthers. I don't think this is how American River drew up coming out of that second half.
Yeah, you're right. The fake punt, I kind of forgot about that because I don't think that was planned at all. I think that the punter got the ball, rolled to his right a little bit, saw three blockers in front of him and said, I can make this, and didn't count on the second defender for Sac City, who made probably the play of the game for the Panthers. And so here we go, the kickoff from Senior.
The kick for Panthers.
It's a shortish kick, high in the air. It's going to be caught about the 16 or 17-yard line by Freeman. He's going to come out to the right side, gets around the corner. He's got a little bit of room here, should get up around the 40, cuts back in, a nice cutback, gets to the 47-yard line. Unless he stepped out of bounds, we'll see. The referee looks like he might be marking it a little bit further back on the 42 and say that's where Robert stepped out of bounds. But again, Jordan, Robert Freeman with the big play.
Yeah, Freeman's done his part, setting up the Beavers with great field position. The Beavers just need to take advantage of it. And interesting enough, that was actually Rojas on the kick there. So I don't know, are the Panthers platooning kickers? I don't think I've ever seen that.
Well, there you go. Well, it's the first game for them. They're trying to see who has the leg, as far as the kicking off is concerned in game situations. And so it's Lewis back behind center. He's in the shotgun. The big right-hander out of Rockland. He's going to throw that one. It's going to be batted way back by Sac City. So he looked his receiver down a little bit too long on that one. The right defensive end for Sac City, Jordan, just got way up in the air and batted that one down.
That was Isaiah Byers there on that, and it looks like he's cramping up a little bit. He went down after that play, but yeah, he just batted that one down. Good thing he did too, because ARC had a man open. That could have been a big play.
Yeah, that was one of the highest batted down balls I've ever seen. That thing went about 12 feet in the air after he blocked it, and luckily for the Beavers, it went back behind quarterback King Lewis, because if it was out in the field of play, I think that would have been picked off.
Yeah, that was one of the most dangerous batted balls I've ever seen. I mean, a testament to how hard Lewis threw that ball.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen a guy throw a ball so hard that it bounces back 10 yards off a deflection.
Yeah, Byers is a name that you've been saying. We've been saying a little bit more as this game has progressed, along with a couple of the linemen for Sac City. So they are their defensive unit is really stepping it up as this game goes on, and hopefully he just has a cramp, and that's why he is still down on the field being attended to by a couple of trainers. American River College taking advantage of the situation to talk things over, and whatever play that was, it looked like it might have been a screen pass, might have had a receiver open, but a little bit too deliberate maybe, or too methodical, because that was sniffed out by Byers right away.
Yeah, it was, and you got to think, again, Lewis is another quarterback here where he's shown his arm off a few times, and he just hasn't really had that opportunity to sit in a rhythm. Sac City's defense is doing a good job just really making things uncomfortable for the quarterbacks out there, as it looks like they're stretching out Byers' leg over there.
And you think, though, Jordan, with the amount of pressure that defensive line is putting on you, the screen would be the easiest play to call. But as we've talked about before, haven't really seen one executed today. And, it's like every other play. You need repetition. You need to do it a couple of times. But I think maybe gave it away a little bit too early on that one.
And the screen's a hard one, too, with a young quarterback as well, just because you are essentially saying you have to stand here with pressure in your face. You're probably going to get knocked down. You're probably going to get hit. And you kind of have to have that composure, and you don't often find that in some freshmen and sophomores. You might see it when they were seniors in high school, but now all of a sudden, like I said earlier, they're going up against the best of the best from these other schools, and the step up in competition is a lot higher, and I think that it can kind of fluster some of these quarterbacks a little bit.
Yeah, and obviously, also you don't see that many screen passes in high school. You don't really see that as a component of many of the offenses, and Byers is still down. They waved a couple of more guys out. I think they're going to try to get him off the field. Help him off the field. So hopefully it's not more serious than a cramp, because Byers is a heck of a player, and he's been really a thorn in the side of American River College the entire, basically second and third quarters. And we wish him nothing but the best, Isaiah Byers.
I mean, the walk he's doing looks like a cramp. I think they might have brought him out because Isaiah Byers is 225, and that's a lot of man to help off the field right there.
At a Consumnes Oaks High School, and yeah, he's just taking his time, kind of stretching things out, and we've seen that a couple of times today, so hopefully he will be back in. But more importantly for the Beavers, they have a 2nd and 10 now on the 42-yard line. Freeman gave him a great return again, and they have to go ahead and capitalize it as they're losing at the time 13-10 to Sac City. Finally ready to get everything going. Whistles ready to be blown, and we are ready to get back into action, coming off an incomplete pass, and so the clock won't start until the ball is snapped into play. Lewis is in the shotgun. as a receiver or a running back to his right. He has a couple of receivers out to his left, and he is going to fake it to the running back and try to run it himself, and he got nowhere on that play as the penetration too quick by the Panthers.
Yeah, and I don't know if that was a read option of the wrong read or if that was just a fake, but Sac City was all over that play.
Yeah, and you think that if that was the play, you think on a second and 10 play, now you're going to force your team to go to the air here as a 3rd and 11, maybe 3rd and 12 here. And again, another in the series, Jordan, of plays that have to be made by the Beavers.
And that's the tough thing about what American River has done with the offense so far is they've really not done a great job of putting themselves not in a 3rd and manageable.
Here comes the 4-man rush. Steps up, throws it down and out to the right side. Looks like it was complete. Or was it knocked away? Knocked away. Okay, knocked away. It was for Freeman here. It would have been right by the first down and out, but it was knocked away by the defensive back. Another good defensive play by Sac City.
Yeah, Davon Drayton, that one, the 6'3 DB freshman out of Sac High School. Great football program over there. Sacramento High is always putting out some great players. Drayton with a good play there, timed that hit perfectly, knocked that ball loose, and that would have been, I don't know if that quite would have been a first down, but it would have definitely been a 4th and 1 consider going for it situation.
Seeing a lot of the tall defensive backs so far in this game. A couple of 6'3s on each side. So here we go in punt formation. We're going to punt it this time. Pretty good looking kick down around the 20-yard line. 21-yard line is handled. And it skips and evades 2 guys, and now he's going to get back up to the 30, maybe to the 31 or 32-yard line. A 10-yard return, a really good return by Sac City, and they will have first down at their own 32 with 8:29 left in the 3rd quarter, and they have the lead at 13-10.
And there was a penalty flag thrown around the 30-yard line. Barthel and Fridge were kind of going at it a little bit. I don't know who they called it on. It looked like just kind of the 2 gunners going at it, but we'll see what they end up calling here because this is huge. This essentially gives the team the ball near midfield or backs them up to about the 20-yard line.
Yeah, you got to be a little bit anguished by that, whichever coach is going to have the penalty against them, because you just can't have that. That's going to happen every game. You're going to be going down. It's going to be called on Sac City, so it'll be going back to about the 20-yard line. Looks like the 18-yard line. But Jordan, you're going to have the gunners. You're going to have punts all the time, kickoffs all the time. You can't just lose your cool all the time and cost your team 10 yards.
No, and I think what happened is Fridge started getting beat by Barthel on it, and he ended up, because Barthel landed on top of him, I think Fridge kind of pulled him down, trying to stop him from getting in position to make a play.
Well, break for the Beavers here as they will be first down on their own 18 for Sac City, but Sac City moving the ball relatively well, giving time to Partee in their last drive, but it allowed them to take the lead at 13-10. So we'll see if American River is back to putting the pressure on the quarterback that they gave us in the first 2 quarters. Partee is in the shotgun, 1 running back to his right. Wide receiver to left, a couple out to the right. Partee's going to hand it right back up the middle to the left side. Good defensive play by American River, and that's going to be no gain for the Panthers.
I believe that was another new running back there for the Panthers. If my eyes don't deceive me, that was number 38, Jamal Francois Jr.
Okay.
Great name.
A fantastic name.
And Francois is hobbling off a little bit.
He's out of El Camino High School. So about maybe the 4th different running back we've seen from Sac City actually carry the ball. They might have had a couple more guys in the game that didn't get action, but Francois going over to the side, and he is replaced here. The back is to the left of Partee now.
They're definitely using a running back by committee here.
And Partee is going to throw a quick out to the side, and it is off the hands of the wide receiver, a closing defender right away by American River. Looks like number 30 for American River College on that one. Closing on the receiver. The receiver had the ball go off his hands. It'll bring up 3rd down.
Another Vacaville kid, Lucas Sartorino on that, the 5'10 freshman. Vacaville, great program, former Bulldog there, and he makes a big play for his team.
Yeah, you're seeing all the big programs of San Joaquin section represented here on both sides of the ball, but a big play for the American River College defense right now. 3rd and 10. Ball on the 18-yard line of Sac City. Let's see if the Beavers can get some penetration here and make Partee uncomfortable. He's going to throw it quickly across the middle and overthrows his receiver. So that was nowhere near the receiver who was open, but not anywhere near where the ball was. So they've got to put those 2 together if they want to get a first down.
Yeah, that was a dangerous throw there by Partee, because if ARC's playing zone right there, that overthrow ends up an interception. That could have been 6 the other way.
It looked like maybe that was kind of a miscommunication, because Partee expected the receiver to be somewhere else, and the receiver either broke off the route or thought he was supposed to be somewhere else. But good break for the Beavers, and they close the door on the Panthers. 4th down now,
Back to return
and
for
10 to go on
Beavers.
the 18. They got the punter back on about the 3-yard line, and Freeman is standing about midfield for the Beavers.
This is another big opportunity for the Beavers. You have Rojas punting from essentially his goal line.
We're going to have a penalty on the play. We had a lot of movement on both sides, but I think you can move if you're the defense. That flag was thrown after a couple of the Beavers moved off the line of scrimmage. So we'll see what the call is here.
I can't imagine.
It's going to be against Sac City. The Panthers are going to take 5 yards back to the 13, which puts their punter now, Jordan, in the end zone, basically. So, you want to put some pressure on them. You don't want to get any kind of a roughing penalty, but maybe you put a little bit more pressure as we are ready to go. And that's over the head of the punter. That's going to go out of the end zone, and that will be a safety for American River College.
And a huge break, another special teams miscue there. Now all of a sudden the Beavers find themselves trailing by 1, and they're going to get the football anyway. In a weird way, though, with the way the Beavers have moved the ball, now they're going to be getting it in potentially worse field position. Sac City still has a lead, so it's probably not the worst outcome on that play that you could have had.
Well, I think that play was actually impacted by the penalty. I think when the guy was snapping the ball from the 18, I think he was a little more comfortable. When he looked back and saw his punter in the end zone, I think he kind of did a little bit of yips on that one, and that was well over the head of the punter. That makes it 13-12, although we're not going to put the 2 points up for the Beavers because that would be too convenient. But the punt or free kick will come, I believe, from the 20-yard line for Sac City. So Freeman should be able to get the ball in pretty good position for a return and hopefully get the ball up around midfield for the Beavers. But that's getting ahead of ourselves a little bit. So 13-12, and as you say, Jordan, amazing, maybe not amazing for a first game, but so much being decided by special teams.
Yeah, it's really impressive. I mean, they say it's a third of the game, but it's really been the decisive factor in this game. And both of them are really making big plays where it counts. Sac City's special teams made a huge play over here in the end zone, and then they kind of botched one over here and gave it right back.
So we're going to have a place kick here. Now I'm not going to say who the kicker is going to be because they keep switching them on me, but it looks like Rojas.
I believe it is Rojas.
Okay, very good.
I think he went to the sideline and said, I didn't get a punt, and I should be allowed to take this kick.
And Freeman and Jacobs are standing about their 25. There's the kick. It's a shortish kick. Let's see if it's handled by one of the up guys. It is. And it's going to get back up to the 40-yard line as one of the actually up to the 45-yard line. So well done there as he evaded contact.
Boy, I almost wonder if Ian Simpson from Whitney, he's the one who fielded that. I almost wonder if he should have let that one go because it looked like it was on track to go out of bounds. Problem is, if you get a good bounce, and Rojas has done that a few times, you could find that ball bouncing inside the 10, 20-yard line, but he lets that go. That's a few yards there.
But also, Jordan, if he lets it go and it bounces well, that's a free ball. So, that means it could be covered by Sac City. And Simpson, one of the backup tight ends, who was mentioned by Coach O when I talked to him, so he's held in pretty high regard. And he made a very nice run there to get the ball back out to the 37-yard line. Lewis back to pass. He's under pressure, throws, he's hit, and the ball is going to be incomplete over the middle. There's two defensive linemen, and Jordan, I have a feeling it's going to be two of the guys you've been telling us about all day.
Mario Keenan went in there and just body slammed poor Kenny Lewis, who was just unsuspecting, all 6'3", 275 pounds of him. That's a rude awakening if you're Kenny Lewis right there.
And that's a way that Sac City, I mean, they have a little bit of a turnaround here. They give up the safety, they give up a kick, but all of a sudden they right the ship a little bit with some defensive pressure. Second down, Lewis in the shotgun. Running back to his right. He rolls right. He's looking for an out route, I think, down here. The receiver is covered, almost intercepted. Looks like number 30 right there, number 10.
That was number 10, Elijah King. He ended up having that one. And that would have been, I don't think he would have gone for 6, but that would have been a huge return for the Panthers and really given him a chance to take control of this game.
Yeah, pretty obvious. He was rolling to his right looking for the out route, but what got me, Jordan, is that he had two receivers doing basically the same pattern about 5 yards apart. So King basically was able to defend both of them by standing in one place, and the ball had to go through him to get to where it was going, and it didn't get through him, and he should have had himself an interception. So a third down for the Beavers. They trail 13-12, 7:20 to go, third quarter. Lewis now back to pass, has a little bit of time. Now he's rolling to his left. He's still rolling. He's going to loft it up, down, out of bounds, and it's going to, I think it might have been intercepted. No, he was out of bounds. He tried to throw it out of bounds, and almost the defensive back did a little tiptoe down the sidelines over there, almost pulled it in, but it's going to be actually a pretty depressing or disappointing series for the Beavers.
Yeah, and the pressure in that one started with Carlos Lopez, and that ended up Union Mine player, and then that ended up going to Marcus Jones Jr. from Monterey Trail. Both of those two were the two that provided the pressure on that and almost forced another turnover.
And that was the start of the game. It was the Beavers' pressure on the quarterback on Partee, but it's become the pressure from Sac City, their front seven, that has been the story of the game since then. 13-12, 6:34 to go, punt formation. And the kick is down. It's about 30 yards to the 26-yard line. Good coverage by the Beavers. They knock the receiver down, and he gets away. Two more guys knock him down. He gets away. And finally, the fifth guy knocks him down. But we've talked about it a couple times. The kick coverage team for the Beavers doing their job.
Yeah, that'd make your heart skip a beat if you're a Beaver fan, though, because Kalani Riddick, if he escaped from that last tackle, everyone that could have tackled him was on the ground.
Yeah, they've already tried tackling him, okay? You got to try, get up and try again. So it's first down on the 26-yard line of the Panthers for Sac City. Check on the quarterback. We assume it's going to be Ben Partee out of Santa Monica City College, the transfer from San Marcos. He's got a running back on his left. He's in the shotgun. He's got two wide receivers to the left as the tight end goes in motion to the right through the formation. Fake the handoff, and that's great penetration by the Beavers. And Partee is down for a loss back at the 18-yard line.
Number 17, Dom Spence, the sophomore DB out of Whitney, another big program, contributing a big player for the Beavers.
Yeah, Dom Spence has been in the middle of a couple of plays here, and I think Dom Spence has grabbed his hamstring, so he is coming out at number 33 as that Jaksic is going to go in and take his place. So Spence was in there. He read the handoff or fake handoff perfectly and knocked down Partee to set up a 2nd and 15 to go, make that 16 on the 20-yard line. Partee in the shotgun, looks over to his left. He's got three wide receivers, just one to the right. He's looking to the left, rolling to the left, and now he's going to go back up the middle. He drops the ball, and he's closed in by the American River College defender, and he's going to be down on the 15-yard line. So he came back up the middle. He looked like he was trying to run out the right side, Jordan, and just dropped the ball.
Yeah, I just dropped it, and tough look there. Looked like that was number 58, DeJohn Deems, that led the charge for the Beavers on that tackle. Looked like number 43, I believe, as well, Chase Roth, another Rockland product that ended up getting in there too. Just a little mental lapse by Partee.
Yeah, Deems out of River City, 6'4" and 248 pounds, and it brings up a third down now and about 20 yards to go. Partee is in the shotgun. He's going to go back to pass after the play fake, and he's going out to his left. The throw is out of bounds. You know, I think it might be Jason Lindahl.
I believe that is Lindahl.
Quarterbacking, because he rolled out to his left and threw left-handed, and I know Partee's good, but I don't think he's that good. So that's Jason Lindahl, we believe, coming out of Casa Roble, and he completed the pass, got it back to the original line of scrimmage at the 25, but it should bring up the punting situation unless I missed it down somewhere. So Jason Lindahl in at quarterback, and yeah, here comes the punt team. So he was moving a little bit different on last one. As we know, we've seen Casa Roble play against Placer last year. He's an excellent running quarterback, so maybe he got a little bit ahead of himself and fumbled on the previous play, completed that pass, got it back to the 25, and now punt formation. And here is Rojas.
I think that's very possible of what happened.
Gets his foot into it. Pretty good kick, end over end. Freeman's going to let it hit. It goes sideways this time, and it's going to be great field position by American River as Jordan, their defense came up big on that series.
They did. That was a huge series for American River. You get that stop, and you keep it a one-point game. I mean, really, they caught a little bit of a break when Lindahl dropped the ball there, but they did a great job, especially that blitz from the slot corner. Dom Spence on that. That was just a huge play. That really set the tone for that drive.
First down from their own 46-yard line for the Beavers. It looks, I think, like Kenny Lewis still in there, Jordan.
No, I believe that is actually Carlisle.
Okay, so Carlisle has come back on. He's got a couple of guys next to him out there. So full backfield for the Beavers. Carlisle is going to hand it off. No, he's going to fake the handoff and run up the middle, but he is hit and he is stopped for no gain. Looked like it's Torrey Hendrick is in the game from Folsom. We mentioned him earlier, Jordan, but that time the fake looked good and everything looked clean, but no gain.
Yeah, another great defensive stand there. Brought down by a pack of Panthers. Marshawn Hunter was the one that delivered, kind of drove Carlisle into the ground. That read option, you know, was the right read at first, but I think the Panthers just did a good job recovering and getting set up and making the play.
And we are ready to go. Second down and 10. Now just one back in the backfield with Matt Carlisle. Showed some running in the first half, but that time he was down. He's going to pass. He throws out to the left corner, but there's nobody there. Again, a couple of receivers in the same area, Jordan, and that doesn't usually seem like a recipe for success.
No, it doesn't. I think he was looking for Barnes in a way, but I think he just realized, this play's done. They were very well covered, and just get rid of that ball. Don't take the sack. He's learning from the mistake he made on that first drive.
Well, I think that what's surprising me so far about the second half is that nobody is really looking to the middle of the field with the pass game. Now, we saw a couple of slants early in the game from both sides, but since then, I don't think anybody really is exploring the middle of the field. Everybody's throwing out passes and out routes, so we'll see if that changes in the fourth quarter. But right now, a big third down for the Beavers. They have the great field position on the 46, but haven't been able to do anything with it yet. So basically, we're in a third down and 10 situation, and Sac City is showing some pressure. They send 5, and one of them is unabated. The throw out to the side is another out route, and it is too short for the intended receiver. That's Robert Freeman. So it is going to be 3 and out for the Beavers here, and they'll have to kick it back to Sac City.
And that was, again, Marshawn Hunter providing the pressure on that one. He's had a great game, really been in the quarterback's face no matter who it was all game for this one. Like you said about the not going over the center, what's surprising about that, too, is Sac City's only playing one safety deep. So you'd think that there's some type of seam you could find over the middle.
And I think they are, in a way, counting on that pressure they're getting now for the way they're setting up their defensive backfield. So here we go with the punter is Vasirovich for the Beavers. Snap is down low. He gets his foot into it. Pretty good looking kick. It's going to come down about the 10 or 15 or 20 yard line. A good bounce for the Beavers. They're going to watch over it carefully, nurture it, and get it down to the 12-yard line. So a 42-yard kick for the Beavers, and it'll be first down and 10. 3:02 to go, and Jordan, let's see if we see Jason Lindahl again, the left-handed quarterback out of Casa Roble.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to break out the trusted binoculars here.
Oh, I like
the
that.
The binoculars over sunglasses.
The binos. Yeah, that's a very good look. That's very hip, very GQ, very in, very now. As the Beavers not able to capitalize on that field position on the 46, they go 3 and out. And
looks like Party is the man out there now.
Party is the man, and he has taken over. The transfer out of Santa Monica City College. He does have a touchdown pass here today. And he's going to hand that one off. Great penetration again by the Beavers there, and they're going to drop the running back on about the 8-yard line.
And that's a name we haven't called in a minute, but Kean Sloan again.
Kean Sloan, okay. Or Kean Sloan, the lineman, number 56 out of Rockland, gets the penetration. I think that was another new running back for Sac City. So it is a loss of about 3 on the play. I call it 2. So it will be 2nd and 12 for the Panthers. They lead this one 13-12. We've got 2:30 to go here in the third quarter from Beaver Stadium on the campus of American River College. Partee with one running back to his right. He's got 3 wide receivers out to the right. Now one of them in motion across the formation. He's going to throw it to that guy, but he is hit right away with a completed pass. So they brought him in motion. They threw to him, and a tackle right away by the American River College Beavers.
Yeah, that was Sartorio on the tackle, the Vacaville product. Great job. I got a little nervous there when I saw him going for the hit. He was looking at the chops, and it looked like he put the head down for a second. Got to be careful not to get the targeting call there.
Might have been Brandis again out of Vanden on the receiving end, but like I said, he went in motion from the right side all the way to the left, and Partee never left him, and I think that's what the defender of American River College picked up on. So we go third down, basically 10 yards to go here. Big play for the Beavers defense here with 1:37 to go in the third quarter. Empty backfield. Partee's going to throw it right away. Now he's going to go back up the middle, but he gets away, goes over to his left, but he's got no room, and he's knocked out of bounds right around the 16-yard line. So good job by Partee not to get dumped at the line of scrimmage, Jordan, but a good series by American River.
Yeah, another good series. The defense is doing its job. They're making the stands they need to do. The offense has to deliver and help the defense out a little bit.
Interesting call. It looked like there was an empty backfield, and he pump faked right away and then looked like he was looking to run up the middle. So I don't know if that was a planned run or just he didn't see what he wanted to see. But whatever it was, it sets up the punting situation. And Mr. Freeman is back on the 50. Now the punter is down on the goal line again. Jordan, you remember what happened last time?
Yeah, they got to think that snap's going to be better this time.
I agree. And it is. It's right on the money. Good kick out here. Oh, very nice kick. That's going to sail Freeman all the way back to the 40. It bounces toward Robert, and now they're going to let that roll down at about the 35-yard line. So that is an excellent kick by the Panthers. Use that as a weapon and shove the Beavers all the way back to 35. And Jordan, I think basically what we're seeing over the last 15 minutes and 51 seconds now left in this game is the Beavers have got to protect their quarterback.
Yeah, they really do, and it doesn't matter what quarterback it is. Both of them have had a rough time back there. And on that last play, too, Julian Davis has to be a little careful. That ball almost clipped his back heel and ended up a live ball.
Yeah, he was running away from the ball, not really looking at it, and it hit the ground. And Freeman got away, but Davis did not. So here we go with Lewis back, or let's see, that would be Carlisle back there. One running back to his right side. He is going to ride the running back, keep the ball himself, go up the middle and break it out to the outside. He's got a first down. Now he's hit from behind, held on to the ball. A nice gain of about 14 yards for Carlisle. And Jordan, he loves that play, riding the running back and then keeping it for himself.
Yeah, that's a great read option there by Carlisle because he really just wasted that last second to get rid of the ball. I think Jacob's almost like, dude, either just give me it or hang on to it. But he waits till that last second before he makes his move, and it worked out big time for the Beavers.
Well, when you have a team like Sac City, the penetration is so good on the front four. You really, I mean, that extra half second might really make the difference between success and failure. And 21 seconds down, ticking down here in the third quarter. Carlisle with the back behind him. He's got two receivers out here to the right side. He is going to fake the handoff. He's got somebody coming from behind him. He lets the ball go down the middle. He's got a guy open. Barnes with a diving try, and it's just past his hands. Well, Jordan, we said down the middle, and he was down the middle.
Yeah, he found that seam finally, and it looked like the safety had to make up some ground because I don't think he was expecting it. And, you know, that's a play that looked like it was getting ready to develop all game. You got to hit on that play when you take the chance at it.
A really well-thrown ball. It's about 45, 50 yards in the air, but just a little too far for Barnes, who's been a very effective receiver in getting open and making the catches so far for the Beavers. So now they've got 5 seconds to go here. Second down. After the first down run for Carlisle, got a first down, then the pass to Barnes, which I think we've been looking for pretty much the last two quarters, right down the middle. And it is 2nd and 10, single running back, handoff to that running back. That's Avante Jacobs, goes out to the left side. He's got a couple yards, then keeps going. Might have picked up about 6 yards out there, and that is going to be the end of the third quarter. And as we go into the fourth quarter, well, let's make sure that everything is official and there's no penalties or anything. You never know in this business. You know, it's our first game, Jordan. We don't want to make that, go to break and they're still playing. That would be very embarrassing.
I mean, that wouldn't be the best look.
I think we do have the end of the third quarter. After 3 from Beaver Stadium, score Sac City 13, American River College 12. We'll be right back with more American River College football right here on the Stones Radio Networks.
Gain of 2 on the play. Brings us to the end of the third quarter. The score right now, Sacramento City College 13, American River College 12. Big thank you to our sponsors this season, Carmichael Elks Lodge number 2103 for their continued support of ARC football. Also Hagen's, the original Freeze, family owned and operated, located on Walnut Avenue in Carmichael. Roxy's Deli and Barbecue, we serve made-to-order deli sandwiches, fresh salads, daily barbecue specials, and catering available. Social Norfolk Mexican Restaurant and Grill, authentic Mexican food on Auburn Boulevard in College Oak. And Mark and Monica's Family Pizza in Carmichael. Also Dave Smith over at Hot Dog on a Stick. Eschaton, Age is Beautiful. Troy Lancaster Memorial Foundation, thank you Kathleen Lancaster. Also, West Capital Wealth Management. Geico Insurance, Trace Agave. Hanson Beverage Company, Bob Tremaine, Ray Morgan, Business Technology Specialist.
And we are back at Beaver Stadium on the campus of American River College. Mark the Phantom Blow here with Jordan Jorgensen for Stones Radio Networks on the American River College YouTube page, Stones Radio Networks YouTube and Facebook. And we are ready to go here as it's going to be American River College with the ball. Third down, and I believe about 4 yards to go. And Jordan, while we have a second, why don't you give me one key for each team as we enter the final 15 minutes?
I think if you're American River, you got to find a way to move the ball. You got to find a way to get in these third and manageable situations. And if you're Sac City, keep up what you're doing. You're stuffing the Beavers right now. They don't have an answer for your defense.
And here we go with Carlisle in the shotgun. He looks to his right. He's going to have to try to escape. He's going to be able to outrun the lineman, and he's got an opening on the right side. Goes down the right side. Nice tackle over there, but not until He is about 5 or 6 yards past that first down marker. It'll be first down for the Beavers on about the 36-yard line, and that time all the pressure, Jordan, came in from the right or from the left, so he ran right.
Yeah, it looked like Hunter led the charge on that pressure, and then Keenan again broke through that line. All of a sudden, Carlisle looked like a gazelle escaping from a bunch of lions.
Yeah, he really did, and I think it was a gazelle that, I think it was one of the faster gazelles in the gazelle group. So here we go, first down on the 36, 13-12 in favor of Sac City. There's a handoff to Jacobs. They give it to Jacobs this time, and he's going to make maybe 1 yard up the middle. As you said, quarterback rode that one again, but kind of gave it to the running back.
He did, but again, I mean, I think that's the right read. He really waited till the last second and realized, okay, if I hang on to this, we're losing 5, whereas if I give this to Jacobs, it's no gain, and he made the right call.
It looks like that American River, one of the things they're trying to do is get a kind of a variety of things to keep the front four, especially of Sac City, kind of guessing about what they're going to do, because if they know they're going to pass, they're just going to go ahead and just take off and come right at them. So they've got to kind of give them a couple of different looks and keep them a little bit off balance. So second down now, basically 10 yards to go from the 36-yard line. Carlisle in the shotgun, running back to his right, hands it off to the running back going left, and he's going to get nowhere and probably lose a yard, as again it was one of those options, Jordan, but that time really nowhere to go.
Yeah, I think Carlisle might have made the wrong read on that one, because I think he saw the defense, and I didn't think he quite saw what he had on the other side of the field, but I don't think there was a lot of places to go, but if he made someone miss on the other side of the field, that could have been a big play.
A little surprised that they're going to this run option a couple times and not putting the ball in the air. You think that's just part of doing that thing where they counter what the other team is doing well.
Part of me is a little surprised by it just because you're not setting yourself up for some very pretty third downs.
And that's what we've got right now, 3rd and 11 at the 37-yard line. Make it the 38. Trying to get the defense to jump, did not do that. Carlisle goes back, he lets it go to the left side, and it just threw the ball before the break was made by the wide receiver, and it's through his hands, and it'll bring up a 4th down.
Yeah, I was looking for DeMarco Broadnax on that, the freshman receiver out of Rosemont. Looked like he made that. He was trying to get it right there when he turned around, and it ended up going right through the hands. I think it was a little bit high. I don't know if there was a miscommunication there on when the break was going to happen.
Yep.
But nonetheless, the Beavers are punting the ball away, and that's a tough pill to swallow because that clock is now winding down, and it is not your friend with a 1 point.
It's a tough pill, but if you make this, I mean, if you get the ball, get pinned down Sac City, if you can, inside the 10, inside the 15, maybe you give your defense a chance to come up with a big play. So we've got too many men on the field, I think. That ball is kicked, a good kick up near, a lot of hang time. It's going to come down around the 8-yard line, bounce right to the 11-yard line, and be down there by the Beavers. So a good kick by Basirovic there, as he put a lot of air on that, and the coaches behind us were screaming. They thought their own team, I think, had too many men on the field. I think they were saying it about Sac City. They looked like they had a heck of a lot of guys out there.
Yeah, it looked like we did have a flag, and it's a bold strategy if you can get away with putting out 14 guys on the field. Why not? But,
and it's a situation, Jordan, even if the 5-yard penalty is administered, then there's no first down for the Beavers, and they may not be able to pin them back better than they did now. So I don't know if they would have taken it anyway.
No, I don't think you take that. I mean, that was a great punt by Basirovic. I mean, now you're essentially asking Sac City, who hasn't been able to move the ball that well either, if you want to go get a put-away drive going, you got to move the ball. I believe it's like 88 yards now.
Yeah, and I think that, I mean, I know that you're going to try to run the ball, try to control the clock, and now I think we're going to come all the way back. We might take that penalty, and let's see. Maybe it was on American River, though. So let's see. It looks like they're going to take it. Too many men on the field, we're thinking, from Sac City. So the penalty is going to be started off from the 38, which will get them to the 33, unless they've suddenly made that a 15-yard penalty, which I don't think they've done. And it will now be 4th down from the 33, and that makes it about 4th and 7. And it looks like that American River saying, hey, it's the 4th quarter, Jordan. We've got to go ahead and give it a shot.
I like this call because Sac City hasn't really proven that they can move the ball on your defense either. And, why not take this shot? I mean, you need points. You got to find a way to get them, and you're not quite in field goal position
Let's
yet.
see if they go to that middle of the field again on 4th and 7. As Carlisle is back with the running back to his left, and there's an offside right away. The right end out there. Might have been Grayson Barnes that just took off right before the snap, and that's going to take those 5 yards right back.
Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb, Phantom, and say that I think that Barnes was the target on that play, the way he jumped there.
And he looked like he was cutting across the middle, too. He was putting his right foot down to go ahead and plan. He was going to cut across the middle. So I like the play call. I don't like the execution. Now they're back to the punt.
Yeah, at this point, we're right back to where we started. You just got to hope that Baserovic can do what he did last time.
Yeah.
Pin him down inside the 20.
Baserovic from Del Campo High School, where's number 41. He got it down to the 12 last time, so that's the point of demarcation there. We'll see if it was more successful or less. Snap is back, and he is going to kick it up. It looks just like the last one, maybe a little bit further, and it's out of bounds at about the 14. Now it bounces, it stays in, so it's going to be cut down at about the 8-yard line. So he got a good bounce there. I thought that was going out of bounds at about the 14. Kicked back to the right. Well done on the 8-yard line.
Yeah, now you're asking, again, like we said, the Panthers to essentially go 92 yards to put this one away. And, you know, I don't think with the way they move the ball, I don't think I see that in their future.
I'm going to take the other side. I think you're asking American River, Jordan, to go ahead and stop them right now. I think you're saying, okay, there's 12:34, so there's time. But this is a situation where you've got field position, thanks to your special teams a little bit. So why don't you put the onus on you, go out and stop them. Don't let them get untracked. Let's make them punt from their own end zone again.
Yeah, I think the biggest key is to make sure they don't get a first down, so you have Freeman lining up to return that at midfield.
Partee in the shotgun. Got a guy behind him. He's going to hand off to that running back going on the right side. Cuts it back in. A pretty good run out to the 14-yard line, about a 6-yard gain for the Sac City Panthers, and they'll face a 2nd and 4 now on the 14.
That's probably not what you wanted to see if you were the Beavers on that first play, is them getting half those yards with a run.
A really good run there, too. Kind of a shifty run by the Panthers as they now face a 2nd and 4 from the 14. Partee in the shotgun, that running back right behind him, and now they're going to move a couple of guys to strong formation on the right side. Tight end in motion, handoff again. No, he's going to hold on to it. No, it is the handoff, but this time gets back to the 15, maybe to the 16-yard line, maybe to the 17 as the runner came out of the pack. I thought he was stopped, and he poked out of the pack for a pretty good gain.
Yeah, pretty good move by the Sac City O-line again. The Hog Mollies were moving those feet and moving his guy forward, and now all of a sudden you're looking at a 3rd and looks like 1 or 2, and you gotta like that if you're Sac City, especially with the way you ran the ball in the first 2 plays.
And let's not forget, Jordan, even though they started this game early, it's getting pretty warm out there, and those guys have been out there for a couple hours now on both sides of the ball. So 3rd down and maybe about 2. It's going to be another handoff. The pursuit by the Beavers, and you're going to knock him down at about the 20. I think he made the first down, though. So we will see as it run to the right side. Closed on quickly by American River College.
Yeah, it looks like he did get it.
Yeah, it looks like he is going to get the first down by about 2 yards there. So he is at the 20, maybe the 21-yard line. So it's first down, and that's what you don't want to see if you're a Beaver, is to see the Panthers start a sustained drive.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing is, you know, again, it's a tall order to ask him to go 92 yards, but at the same time, the clock is on Sac City's side, and if you can run the ball down the field and kill 5 or 6 minutes off this, that's a win for you.
Let's see what the Beavers can do about it on a first down from the 20-yard line. And there's a pass by Partee behind the line of scrimmage and closed on immediately by the Beavers defensive back. And I think we're going to have maybe a targeting call or something because the flag was dropped right where the tackle was made at about the 18-yard line.
Yeah, I believe that was Tochi Naruka, a sophomore DB from Consumnes Oaks. He just read that one perfectly, but you got the helmet-to-helmet contact, and that's what I think they're going to be looking at here. And that's a big one because I think that could end in ejection for Naruka if it's targeting.
Well, and we couldn't really see it from up here as far as where the helmet was, but the flag was dropped immediately by the referee who was standing right there. So you have to think that he knows what he saw and was pretty sure of it. So we have a player down. I believe it might have been the Sac City receiver on the play. So they are attending to him as American River College comes off the field to talk to their defensive coordinator. And Sac City waiting to attend to the player. So it was a good defensive play up until the hit by American River College smelled out the play right away, Jordan, and came in and closed pass. And we've seen that a lot from both sides, but particularly from American River College. Closing speed has been good today.
Yeah, and this is something, too, where that the targeting call could be something interesting just because Naruka, I mean, I don't think it was a malicious play by any means.
Right.
But, you know, we don't have the luxury like you have in Division I football where you got to look at it and see, okay, was it malicious or not, and what type of targeting is. It's just targeting either way. And
obviously we wish the best for the receiver. Hopefully he's back up. I think he is. No, he's still down there, and they're still attending to him. And it's going to be, I think, They are marching off the penalty against the American River College Beavers.
Yeah,
So
I
the
think-
ball will be marked, I think, Jordan, at the 33-yard line. So that is a 15-yard penalty.
And that was a great play by Naruka. It really was a great read, and you would hate to see that just end up being called targeting because he made the right read, but that helmet-to-helmet contact, you just can't do that. in
Yeah,
today's game.
exactly. And again, first game of the season, and a guy Naruka has not been on the field the entire game, so he's just getting out there, and the excitement of making, the exuberance of making a play like that. Hopefully, as we say, the receiver, the player for Sac City, who's now getting sitting up out there, we hope he is okay, and if not able to come back in today, able to play for them next week in their game. American River on the road next week. They take on Laney College. I think that's on Friday night, and then on Saturday, the next Saturday, they'll be in Fresno. Back here on the 24th of September against the College of San Mateo, preseason ranked number 4 in the coaches poll in the state of California. And now we have the receiver has come up on his feet. He's helped out a little bit there, but he's moving off under his own power, so that's a good sign right there, Jordan.
And it looks like that's Jonathan Brennis is the player on that. And as you kind of talked about, the closing speed American River's had a couple big hits, too, by Lucas Sortino. He had a couple big ones that broke up some plays. I mean, it's been a big thing, and, there was even a couple on those where it was kind of like, oh, where was that head? Like, what are you going to call? But you got to be careful with that. It's such a double-edged sword because you can make that big play, pump up your defense, but the line of error is so marginal, and it could really be a huge difference between an ejection or a huge play for your team.
Yeah, Jonathan Brennis out of Vanden High School, or number 19. And so we are ready to go here. Sac City now first down on their own 32-yard line. 10:34 to go in this ball game. Sac City 13, American River College 12. And Ben Partee in the shotgun. Motion, here comes a rush from the left side, and I think we're going to have a false start. We'll see.
And now you're giving 5 of those yards that you just got right back.
Yeah. So false start then. And did you see that it looked like Dominic Spence, maybe from his left corner position, was rushing in there on that one. And he's a guy that they have to keep track on. He's made a couple of big plays today, and you want to know where he is in the defense. And I don't know if that had anything to do with the false start, but he was coming in from his left corner position.
Yeah, and you almost wonder with the way the pass rush has been if they caught a break with that false start. Maybe it would have been a 7-yard loss if Spence came through.
Partee now is going to hand the ball off behind him. Good run right through the middle there, and it's down for about a gain of 4, I think.
Damian Allen with the run.
And you have a little skirmish going on between a few players there. It doesn't look like we have any flags, but I imagine at this point now emotions are starting to gun high, tempers, frustrations, and
right.
You got to wonder if you're going to see a little more of it, especially as the temperature gets up and guys just get a little flustered.
9:41, now about down to 9:31 to go in the game here. Second down. Looks like 8 yards to go.
2nd and 8 from the 35-yard
So they got about 7 yards on that play. Got it back to 2nd and 8. Wiped out the penalty. Now here comes the left corner again. Roll out to the right Partee. Now he's under pressure. He's got a couple of guys on him. Good avoiding, and it was closed and tackled by the Beavers. So a couple of guys going after the quarterback. Finally, it looked like number 56, who is Sloan, who has played a great game so far today.
Keaton Sloan, I think, saw what was happening. Partee did a good job avoiding the rush. Sloan just comes in like a missile and just blows that one up. And a good thing, too, because I think Partee had a lot of running room if Sloan doesn't make that tackle.
Yeah, I think Sloan was about the 5th American River College defender to clock in on Ben Partee on that play. And luckily, I think, for the Beavers, he did close the door on him and bring up that 3rd down. Now, it's a 3rd and 12, 3rd and 13 situation. Got to get to the 44-yard line or 43-yard line. So we're going to have looks like a timeout as it's Sac City. Maybe they had a little bit of a personnel problem. So, Jordan, here we sit, 3rd and 13, 3rd and 12, 8:30 to go in the ballgame.
Yeah, and if nothing else for Sac City, you killed 3 or 4 minutes off the clock, but you got to hope. And you got backed out of your own end zone, so you're not punting from that anymore. So, in a way, even though you may not be putting points up on the board, you still got to think that's a productive drive for the Panthers.
Yeah, and now you're looking at it from their point of view. Obviously, they're going to try to get the first down, but I'm not worried. You know, if they pick up, from their standpoint, they pick up 6 or 7 yards to get them out near the 40, that gives them better punting position, and they'll go ahead and you're looking at where you're going to pin down American River if you don't get the first down. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did not go to the pass on this one and just ran the ball up the middle, trying to get a good chunk of yardage and set up a better punt.
Yeah, I think so too. And, when they do get to that punt, if they do get to it, I think another part of it is I think you're telling whoever's punting for you, I believe it's Rojas, saying, do not let Freeman touch that football.
Right, absolutely.
I'd rather punt it out of bounds and give up another 5-10 yards than have Freeman touch it and potentially return it 25-30 yards and set ARC up with the ball.
Yeah, we're seeing that even more in the high school level, the directional punting we call it, where they're getting it away from somebody when there's only a single back there to receive it. There's a lot of area for you to kick it to that they won't be around. So here we go. 3rd down. Partee in the shotgun, running back to his left. 3rd and 12. And he's going to fake it to the running back. He looks like he's going over the middle. Good defense, and there might a lot of contact there in the middle. I don't think it was a catchable ball. That looked like, was that Freeman on that one? Jordan, number 5?
Yeah,
it looked like it was. So Robert playing on both sides. Got a little handsy there, but luckily the ball was a little bit too high.
Yeah, it looked like Freeman had some hands on him, but I don't think it was anything, malicious to the point where you'd get a penalty. He was looking for Miles Williams there. A name that we haven't really called out yet in this one.
Not too much. Okay, so the punt will be about the 16 or 17-yard line. Put the foot to it. And Freeman is back on the 35. Snap is a good one. Kick is gotten away. It balloons up. It's going to come down about the 36-yard line. Take a kick ahead of it and about the 34 and be downed right there by number 22 of Sac City. And so here we go.
I think this is your big drive if you're ARC. I think if you're going to take this game, you need to get points on this drive.
Logan Cunningham downing the punt, and it is on the 34-yard line. So decent field position for the Beavers, but they haven't really shown anything, Jordan, to be able to sustain a drive recently because they can't string plays together.
Now, and you got to wonder now with 8:15 left on the clock, I mean, you got to wonder you're going to get 1, maybe 2 more chances to put this ball in the end zone or put one through the goal post.
We'll see who's in the shotgun for the Beavers. Looks like Matt Carlisle. He hands it up the middle. A good run up the middle, cut to the outside, and brought down at the 45-yard line of Sac City. That is Avante Jacobs, who gets through for 21 yards, and that is probably, Jordan, the run that we've seen the most daylight on all day.
I think so, too. And actually, if the ref didn't get in the way, I think Jacobs might have had a few more yards there.
Just worried that at the end of that run, somebody's going to get him from behind and knock his arm away and lose the ball, but he didn't. So first down on the 45 for the Beavers. Carlisle is going to hold on to it, but this time he gives it to Jacobs, and Jacobs is smoked back for about a 5-yard loss. So again, that play, Jordan, has been successful for him, but if they run it too long and there's a guy back there, they can really lose a bunch of yardage, and that's what happened there.
Yeah, and I think the hard thing with that hesitation thing, too, is, you could start making a decision, and then you see something change, and you try to reverse it, and that's when all of a sudden you end up with a bad transfer and a fumble, and, it's kind of a double-edged sword, that play, but we got to see what they can do now. You got to think they're going to be putting the ball in the air here soon.
Yeah, running that option when you're running parallel to the line of scrimmage is different than going forward, I think, on that one. So here we go, 2nd and about 17 now. Make it 15. Carlisle has a guy on the left side, lays it up for Barthel, and it's out, and it incomplete on the sideline.
And again, Tien Fridge, another great defensive play there. He's had a few pass breakups in this game. Good job just getting that hand there and just making Barthel have to adjust just enough to make him uncomfortable and drop that ball.
Would be a little bit surprised, Jordan, if this is obviously going to be a pass play again on 3rd and 15 if they don't try the middle of the field, because the middle of the field was almost successful once. Then we surmised they were going to try it on a penalty a little while ago, and now they go down the sidelines again. They've gotten the one-on-one a couple of times, but really haven't been able to capitalize on it. So let's see what kind of route they throw out there now on 3rd and 15, 7:05 to go in this game, and Sac City up by 1, 13-12. 2 receivers out to the left, 2 receivers out to the right. And it is a fake screen pass, a pump fake. Now getting away is Carlisle, but he's going to throw it out of bounds, a side kind of lateral play that he threw out of bounds, which would, I believe, count as a forward pass. So it's an incomplete pass for Carlisle.
Yeah, I think Carlisle just was salvaging that play. One thing, we do have a flag down on the field, 2 flags actually. So
we'll see what happens. Those flags, big flags at this point of the game. I think they were going to wave that flag off because that's what the referee is doing, waving the flag off. So it's going to be incomplete pass, and the punt team goes back in for the Beavers. So Jordan looking for big things that series, and we didn't see him.
No, we didn't. And one thing I noticed on that 3rd down, too, is Sac City actually, for one of the first times all game, looked like they had 2 safeties out there. They had Jackson back there with Riddick, and I think they were kind of expecting American River to attack that seam. And I wonder if them having that second safety out there kind of threw them off a little bit, and maybe they didn't feel comfortable with that play. Carlisle just salvaged it, threw it out of bounds, and they're probably going to look at getting the ball back one more time and this to have one more stab at the end zone if Sac City can't kill this clock.
Now the referees just marked off 5 yards like there was a penalty, but now they picked it up and marked it back. So the penalty was waved off that we could tell, but it was assessed and then unassessed by the referees, and so we're back on the 50-yard line with Basirovich back to punt. Good snap. He's got the foot into it. High up in the air is going to come down. A fair catch called for right at the 10-yard line by Sac City, and that is probably the best outcome that American River could have hoped for.
Yeah, I think the only thing that would have been better is if Riddick panicked and dropped the ball and ended up Beaver ball. But I mean,
I was being realistic, Jordan. Okay.
Hey, you know what?
Okay,
I just
you got on my nerves a little bit
I'm
now.
Mr. Optimistic over here.
Okay, so 1st and 10 from the 10-yard line, and asking the Beavers defense to do it one more time. And I think that, whatever happens right now, they have been a real shining light. Actually, both teams defensively have been shining lights in this first game of the season.
Yeah, and if you're Sac City now, this is a huge drive because I can't imagine we're going to see the ball in the air here at all.
Partee in the shotgun. He's got a running back right behind him and got one to his left, and he hands it off to the guy behind him who picks through the line, makes a good run, but then stumbles and falls at about the 15-yard line. Looks like that might be Damian Allen, number 32.
Yeah, Allen's done a nice little job. So it looks like we haven't seen Zaperi since he cramped up in that first quarter, and Allen's kind of been the one taking it over. And it looks like we have another injured Panther. I think that's number 74.
Looks like an offensive lineman, for the Panthers. Is down in the backfield at about the 10 or 11-yard line. Now he rolled over, and hopefully it's just a cramp on him. We're going to take a timeout here for just a second. With 6:35 to go in this ball game, we've got a timeout on the field. Sac City leads this one 13-12. We'll be right back with more American River College football right here on the Stones Radio Networks. And we are back here, 6:35 to go in the ball game. Sac City 13, American River College 12. As the clock is running, I didn't think it would be running on change of possession. I guess it starts right after they whistle the ball into play. So here we go. That's right, because we had a run play, so the clock was still going. 2nd down, handoff to Allen again, I believe, and he's going to get up to about the 18-yard line. So I think it's going to be just a little bit short of the first down.
They've really rode Allen here in this second half. We saw a lot of Trayvon Frazier in the beginning, and really Allen's kind of been the workhorse here in the second half for the Panthers.
Yeah, very active-looking runner, very athletic-looking runner, and he's picked a couple of really nice holes and got through them for the Panthers. But a big play right here, 3rd and 1 from the 19. Allen behind Partee in the shotgun. One wide receiver to the right. He's going to hand it to Allen, who goes left and gets across. I think he's going to make the first down at about the 22-yard line. So moved the pile and got the first down.
Looks like there was a little bit of a second effort there that got him that first down, and that's a huge first down now because with a 40-second play clock, that's essentially allowing you to kill another 2 minutes off the clock. And one thing, American River's already had a hard enough time moving the ball down the field, but now you're asking them to move the ball down the field quickly, and that could just be too tall of an order for the Beavers.
We don't have the timeouts on the scoreboard, so don't know how many timeouts each team has. I thought American River's called 1 in this half, but we will see as the clock does start clicking down at 5:12 to go in the ball game. 13-12 in favor of Sac City. Handoff again to Allen, and he is got right back at the line of scrimmage. So he, I said he was an athletic runner. Didn't really get going on that one, Jordan.
And I believe that one was actually Otha Williams.
Okay.
He tried to dance around back there, but he didn't have much room to dance. And if you're American River, I think you just want 2 more runs like that before you get the ball back.
Right, and it's not the worst thing if you're Sac City to just get the run, don't fumble the ball, and just suck out 40 more seconds off the clock. So we'll see if that is their plan as they are still in the huddle as we tip down to about 4:30 to go in the ball game. Partee is in the shotgun. He has a running back to his right, a couple of receivers out to the left, and now we've got a false start, which will stop the clock, so that's good for the Panthers, or excuse me, for the Beavers.
Man, if you were a Sac City coach right now, you just have to be ripping your hair out.
Well, we have one behind us, and he is. So there you go, as they stop the clock and give up 5 yards, which will bring up a 2nd and 15 now from back right around the 17-yard line. So they need to get, actually, looks like it's 2nd and 11. Here's the handoff, and it's running around the left side. That was a different quarterback, and he did a half-hearted fake there, Jordan, and ran around the left side to really no gain.
Yeah, Partee was looking hard for running room, but unfortunately he didn't find it. Great pursuit there by the Beavers. And he might have, now it looks like he didn't get out of bounds.
Yeah.
Thankfully, that's the one thing that went right for the Panthers that play, because if he goes out of bounds, you're essentially giving ARC a free timeout.
Well, here it is, Jordan. We're down under 4 minutes now. 13-12, Sac City leads ARC. 3rd down, and we'll call it 16 yards to go from the 16-yard line. Can't imagine they're going to put the ball up in the air, but we'll see on 3rd down. In motion, the left end comes around to the right side, so they have 3 to the right. Going to throw it to the middle, and there's a guy that's breaking open, and then he makes the catch and drops the ball in and out of the hands of the wide receiver. Looks like that's number 81. That is Miles Williams. And he had the ball in his hands, Jordan, and couldn't hold it.
Yeah, Williams had it in the hands. He could have had that, and I think he was breaking. He was starting to think about his touchdown run, I think, because it looked like he was breaking away from that DB, but when it popped out of his hands, it almost popped into an ARC defender's hands.
Exactly.
That could have been a disaster for the Panthers.
Yeah, a little surprised they went to the air in that situation, but it was a perfectly thrown ball by Partee, and he was let down by his receivers. But the bottom line, the clock is stopped at 3:28, and it will be a punt. Puts the foot into it. It's going to be right around midfield there as they clear out. It bounces at midfield, and it's at the 48-49 yard line down by Sac City as Rojas puts it up there and gets it out to the 49 yard line. So 51 yards for a touchdown, and I don't know how many fewer yards than that for the field goal attempt, Jordan, but this is it. We've talked about it all game. Now it really is 3:19 to go, and they're down 1.
Yeah, you got to think you need to get the ball in the end zone here. You're not getting the ball back. And it looks like we might have it looks like Lewis is coming out.
Yeah.
First it looked like we had a wildcat formation going on there.
It looked like Freeman was going to take over. He's done everything else today. Why not? But Lewis goes out there, number 8 out of Rockland. He and Matt Carlisle have been alternating pretty much the entire game. I don't think either one has really distinguished himself away from the other one. Did have a good touchdown pass by Carlisle to Barnes earlier in the game. So here we go. First down on the 49, 3 minutes, 19 seconds to go. Lewis in the shotgun, gets the snap. Looking across the middle, he throws, and that one is closed in quickly by the defensive back, and it will be incomplete, and we'll go to 2nd down.
That's a great job by Fridge there. He kind of just got right over the receiver and was able to break that play up. And I like the decision of going to Lewis here. He's more of your throwing guy, but problem is Sac City knows you're going to be throwing the ball, and these DBs have been locked down all game.
Right, the separation hasn't really been there for the most part. Now, Barnes did a couple of times, but for the most part, the separation hasn't been there and allowed these quarterbacks any comfort zone to throw or any cushion. So here we go, 2nd down from the 49. Lewis in the shotgun, takes the snap, looks around, steps up a little bit. Now he is hit as he throws, and the ball is loose. I thought he was a pass attempt, but it might be ruled a fumble, and it is ruled a fumble, and Sac City has recovered.
Great play there. That was Chris Lands, a DB from Monterey Trail, coming off the edge, blitzing from the slot, just drills Lewis. It looks like they do call it a fumble.
Yep.
I thought it was a little bit of a forward pass, but nonetheless a great play. And that Sac City defense has been dominant all game, and I don't know if the Beavers are going to get another chance at the ball.
Yeah, I thought his arm was coming forward, but he may not have had control of the ball as his arm came forward, and that's the referee's decision right down on the field. So a huge play by Sac City. Not a surprise, Jordan, that the biggest play of the game at this time made by their defense.
Yeah, and not surprised that it comes off of getting pressure on the quarterback
Right.
and getting a hit. And, you can say what you want with the fumble on Lewis there, but he never really had a chance to
Right.
look for anything. You can't really pin that on him when he hasn't really had much of a shot to get into a rhythm all night.
And that has to be something that American River College is going to look at as they go on to next week against Laney and beyond, is trying to get their passing game, get a semblance of. If you don't have protection for your quarterback, you don't really get your passing game going. So here we go. First down, and as Jordan has said a couple times, we expect this to be a scoreboard munching drive by Sac City, as they are going to go, we think, up the middle and just kind of make American River burn their timeouts. As we said, we don't have that on the scoreboard, how many they have left. I think it's 2. And Partee on low snap hands it off, and it is no gain. No gain on the play. That was Damian Allen again out of Elk Grove, and a timeout is called by the Beavers.
Yeah, he kind of shifted underneath the lineman right there, and ends up still running into a sea of Beavers, as they're going to kind of.
Which is a great name for a band, by the way.
That's a great-
Sea of Beavers. But yeah, so now, as you said before, they're going to do that another couple of times, we think. And if American River has timeouts, they're going to make them burn them. Now, if they do, Jordan, and they can do that for 2 more downs, or even 1 more down, they will get the ball back with a couple of minutes or a minute and a half, something like that, to go. So they do have a chance. But again, if you have to drive the ball down the field and your offensive line has not been able to afford protection for your quarterback, it's not a really good look.
Yeah, and that's the brutal thing for the Beavers. The only way you've been able to move the ball is with kick or punt returns.
Yeah.
Or with a couple big runs by Jacobs. And the problem is, if you're putting yourself in a position with no timeouts, you're essentially asking a passing offense that has not gotten going all day to all of a sudden get it going and deliver you guys a win. That's a tall order to ask.
And if we do get to that situation, and we are getting way ahead of ourselves, I would think that Grayson Barnes is going to be a big part of that passing attack if the Beavers do get it back, because he's one guy who seems to be able to get a little bit of separation. Defensive backs for Sac City have played a tremendous game out here today. Fridge, I think, is the one you've been mentioning the most, but all of them have played really well.
Yeah, I think Barnes is definitely the go-to guy, but the problem is I think Sac City knows he's a go-to guy, and they're going to zero in on him as well.
Well said, sir. Second down, shotgun Partee, running back behind him. Second and basically 11, as they lost maybe a half yard on that play. And they're going to hand the ball off again. That looks like Allen. He's going to get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. He is hit by 3 or 4 American River College players, and I think another timeout is going to be called by Coach O. And it'll be third down now and about 11 yards to go. And I think this is either their last one or the next to last one, but they do only have 2:50 to go, so good job so far by the Beavers.
Yeah, the man leading the charge there, Luca Fato, the sophomore linebacker out of Yuba City High School, former honker, one of the best mascots in the region. So you go from the honkers to the Beavers. I mean, you must be a good woodsman.
I tell you, honkers and the Beavers, that's a friendship right there.
Yeah.
I could see the honkers and Beavers hanging out.
Yeah.
Watching college football on a Saturday.
Yeah, now the Panthers, they ruin that.
No.
You don't like that.
Panthers gone. Honkers good. Panthers bad.
Now, what do you think about the Wolverines over at Sierra? That's kind of like an in-between.
Wolverines, it can go either way. I mean, it depends on nature versus nurture, what kind of environment they grow up in, that kind of thing. More importantly, perhaps, is how many timeouts that the Beavers have left now. Even if they don't have any, if they can stop them on this play, then they would take about 40 seconds. So they'll get the ball, Jordan, we think, with about 2 minutes to go. That's going forward, trying to do a little fortune telling here. But that, I think, is the best that American River College could hope for.
Yeah, and the real question is, if you're Sac City, what do you do here? Do you go for killing the clock, or do you just try to put this away now and go to the air? And that's kind of the tough one. I almost think with the way American River is really struggled to move the ball, it might be worth it to take a stab at going to the air here, because I think a first down ends this game.
Yeah, but if you're incomplete, then you stop the clock and you don't have to worry about that timeout, and you give them that much more time. I just think if you're going to be conservative and do that, you go ahead and you run the ball. But let's see. It's junior college, and they're crazy. That guy's offsides. So American River is offsides, and that is a huge mistake. A huge mistake.
I don't think a flag was thrown, though.
Oh, well, it's interesting because we all saw the guy go offsides.
Yeah,
And
Sac
if the flag
City's
is not
coaches.
thrown, then my apologies not to tell you that the play was utter disaster for Sac City, a 5-yard loss. And the clock is still running, so I have to assume that means American River has no timeouts left. But we are in a 4th down situation now. And they might go all the way down to the end of that play clock, Jordan, that you were talking to, and maybe take a SCC timeout or go ahead and kick right in the last couple of seconds.
Yeah, that's a huge missed call by the referees
that's
right
crazy
there.
because he was offsides. Now, it wouldn't have, may not have changed the play or anything like that, but it would have taken time off the clock and everything and gave them another chance 5 yards closer. But it doesn't even look like they're in punt formation anyway. As we go down under 2 minutes, and now we're going to go ahead and have a stoppage and play. It will be a timeout by Sac City. 1:59 to go, Jordan. And again, they go ahead and kick it. Let's say they get it down to about the 20-yard line. That's about the best that the Beavers could have hoped for.
Yeah, and here's the real question is what quarterback are you going to trot out there if you're the Beavers now to go lead that winning drive? I mean, you had it with Lewis. He didn't really have a lot of time, but do you go to Carlisle? Because it does feel like Carlisle's moved the ball a little better as far as the two quarterbacks go, but he's done it on the ground, and you need your yards through the air.
Yeah, you don't really you need to go on the ground because you're going to burn a lot of time that way. But again, Carlisle has shown a little bit more escapability. And the other thing is, are you going to go ahead and play this game for the future of the season or just for this game? I mean, are you going to change what you're going to do, or are you going to go ahead and put out the one you would usually put out and just have that be the way you play? So we'll see what that decision is. But first, we're going to have the punt by Alejandro Rojas out of Jesuit, and he is back at about his 30-yard line. And Robert Freeman, number 5, out of El Cerrito. Robert has been a tremendous return specialist. And Jordan, I think, like you say, now that we got movement on the offensive set, they are all set. And here we go. It's a good snap. The kick by Rojas is going to come down at about the 25-yard line, 26-yard line. It's down right there. Let's call it the 27-yard line. So 73 yards away from a touchdown, and let's call it 55 or 56 yards away from a field goal try. And it's up to the Beavers. Avante Jacobs is in the backfield. Freeman's out there, and it is number 4, Matt Carlisle, out of Newark Catholic, who is behind center for this drive.
And it is important to note that if you're American River, you don't need to get in the end zone, but you just got to get in field goal range. You're only down by 1, but still, that could be a tall order.
Conservatively, about 4 first downs with a couple of extra yards would get you somewhere around where you need to be, but that has been a tall order so far with 1:51 to go. And I expect to see Sac City coming right after Carlisle, and they are. He's got time over the middle, tries to lead Freeman, who was breaking free at the time, but just over his head.
And you almost wonder if you're ARC, too, with the lack of separation you've been getting, if you might be throwing some balls up just trying to get a PI call and getting a free 15.
Well, we'll see. I mean, Freeman was breaking away, but he was single covered, but the safety was coming over to make it effectively a double cover. I think they got to figure out which one they can get one-on-one with and get a situation where they can make a move here, because I think Freeman and probably Barnes are going to be at least single covered with help, if not double covered. So we go second down, 1:47 to go. And Carlisle in the shotgun. Sac City looks like they're going to bring a bunch, but now they back off the middle linebacker. And then they do bring a couple extra. Throw down the sidelines. He is just a little bit overthrown as Freeman. I think that's Freeman came out of the backfield and just overthrown by Carlisle.
Man, that's probably the most separation ARC's gotten all day. If Freeman reels that in, he might be streaking down the sideline.
Right, but you're talking about in the first game dropping a 45-yard dime on somebody. And, yeah, you want him to be able to do that, but to be able to count on that, not so much. And now we go to third down, and it's been Freeman both times. And that time he did have a little bit of separation, like you say, Jordan, but separation is one thing, or getting open is one thing. Separation is something else, and that's a couple of yards, and he didn't have that. So Carlisle had to try to drop it in over the defender's head, and he couldn't do so. So third down from the 26-yard line. 2 receivers out to the left, and there's Carlisle back. He's going to have some pressure. He's going to release on the safety valve to Jacobs, who falls down and gets a gain maybe of a yard perhaps. I like the idea of the safety valve, but just lost his footing.
Yeah, and now all of a sudden you're stuck with a 4th and long situation. This is the exact thing ARC didn't want to be in. They burn what looks like the final timeout.
Right. with 1:29 to go, so they've got to go ahead and make a play to go. Well, it looked, in effect, 10 yards as far as 4th down and 10 yards to go. If you don't make it, the game is basically over.
Now, it's going to be interesting is what we see from Sac City here, because we've seen press coverage on them all game, but now, I mean, you can let them get a 7-yard completion right here.
Right.
You still win the game, so you got to wonder if these DBs are going to back off a little bit or if they're just going to stick with what they've done all day.
And like you wondered that from the front line, too. Are they going to go ahead and go all out, or are they going to go ahead and kind of like send 1 or 2 and kind of back off a little bit? I think they'll probably go all out. There's nothing to lose. You want to make the quarterback Carlisle make a decision before he wants to. And the only way, like you say, if they're going to give you a cushion, you try a stop and go route or something like that. But that's going to take time to develop in the backfield. And they haven't had that kind of time all game.
No, they haven't. And I'm with you. I think you go with the blitz here. I think if you were a little more at midfield, you maybe, don't bring the linebackers in. Maybe send a DN down into coverage as well. But in this situation with where they're at in the field and how they haven't proven that they can move the ball on them yet, I'm sending what I have and I'm sticking with what's been working.
And again, Jordan, I know we've said it a bunch of times, but both passes so far before that drop-off were down the sidelines, and they're trying to go deep down the sidelines, and we've got a situation where the safeties are playing only 10 yards away from the line of scrimmage. And 4th down. Rolling right is Carlisle, trying to get himself. He's going to throw it all the way back to left. He's got a man open over here. It's completed to number 88, it looks like, and that is a 1st down at the 42-yard line.
I don't know where that play came from.
Ian Simpson out of Whitney, and that was just the old misdirection, Jordan, and there was nobody on the side of the field except for Ian Simpson.
I mean, he had everyone fooled. It was clearly drawn up that way, but even when he started throwing that ball to Simpson, I was like, what are you looking at? And then all of a sudden I see a wide-open Simpson, and all you're thinking then is don't drop it, don't drop it.
1:12 to go now in the ball game. 1st down on the 40. A big play for the Beavers. Carlisle gets the snap from center. He's going to throw the short out pass, which is caught, I believe, by Barthel for a gain of about 4 yards to the 36-yard line. But I think, Jordan, a matter of just getting a couple of increments and trying to break something and get close up, I think they're definitely looking field goal right now.
Yeah, I think that also really defeated the Sac City defense, giving up that 4th and long conversion right now. I think they're a little bit flustered now because they thought they had this game won, and now all of a sudden their backs are against the wall.
And underrated part of that play also, Barthel got himself out of bounds. So the wide receiver out of Oak Ridge makes a good play, and he is out to the left again. Carlisle in the shotgun. Looks like that's Hendrick perhaps to his left. Carlisle's going to throw it out to the right side. Really nobody there. He had a wide receiver making a button hook and coming back toward the ball, but he was not close to where the play was. And not probably, Jordan, not at this point. You throw the ball away, that's okay. It stops the clock. You get a chance to plot for the 3rd down.
Yeah, I think you're not really super worried about it. You're still a few yards out of field goal range. One thing is Sac City is leaving that middle of the field open, not even like a deep middle. Like, you can run a slant into that middle.
Yeah.
If one of these guys can get an inside release on him, you'll be open over the middle, and that could be 5, 10, 15 yards even.
And if you get the 1st down, you will stop the clock momentarily to get the change resituated. So here we are, 3rd down, about 6 yards to go on the 36-yard line. In the shotgun, Carlisle gets it, rolls to the right, throws it quickly out to the right. I think it is complete, but going to the ground right away. Was that Simpson again on the right side?
I believe that might have actually been Barnes.
Okay, so Barnes out there to the right, and that's a play. I think the ball's thrown a little bit higher, Jordan. I think they have a chance to make a lot of yards on that play. So now we're down 35 seconds to go.
And it
is
like
now 4th down, and they are going to try a kick from the 40-yard line, which makes it a 50-yard field goal.
From the hash, too, that's another yard or 2.
Now, is this Schreiner out there, number
Yes, it
39,
is.
the kid from Whitney? So he's going to try a field goal with 20 seconds to go, a 50-yard kick.
Gotta wonder if Sac City is going to ice him here.
And they are going to, it looks like they do. They call a timeout. I don't know if they listened to you, Jordan, but they called the timeout with 13 seconds to go. Any surprise on your part that they didn't try for a 4th down play to get them a little bit closer and still have time to try to kick that field goal, or is this the right idea, do you think?
I'm a little torn on this because it's one of those where, hey, if you're confident in your kicker and you know this guy, you think he's got the leg to do it, I say you trot him out there. It really just depends on how confident the coach is. And I think you got to talk to the kicker here because this is the thing where you got a young kicker. I believe Schreiner is a freshman or sophomore, I'm sorry. But either way, you got a young kicker. And if you're missing a potential game-winning field goal on opening game, like this could be the type of thing that throws you in a funk for the entire season. So
it could,
but talk to the kicker, see where your confidence is.
It could, but if it's a 50-yarder, nobody's going to hold you responsible for that. And the other thing is, as you mentioned, you know if your guy has the leg. You've been in practice all summer long. So, I mean, you don't put a guy out there you don't think can kick the ball 50 yards. And so I have to think that they feel that Zach has that in his leg. And here we go, 13 seconds to go. It's all basically down to this. The ball on the 33-yard line. And somebody jumped off sides. There's the kick, and it looks like it's going to be a little bit. It is good. It is good. Zach Schreiner from 50 yards away, and the Beavers lead this game 15-13. But wait a minute, let's make sure we've got a penalty on the play. And it is going to be, hold on here, offsides on the defense, declined. Kick is good. Beavers lead 15-13.
You don't think there was any way in the world
Wow.
the Beavers were accepting that penalty?
Well, I want to tell you that I think there was a way in the world every Beaver was blowing that ball the last couple of inches it needed to get over that crossbar. What a kick by Zach Schreiner. And the Beavers improbably lead this one 15-13, Jordan.
Huge kick by Schreiner right on the leg of your sophomore. I mean, that ball, you couldn't have, if that's a 51-yard field goal, that's no good.
You have a piece of paper on the top of the goalpost. It's not getting over that piece of paper, but that doesn't matter. And as we said, he must have been able to do that in practice at some point. They thought he could do it. What a play. And now you got to go out and what do? You pooch kick this one to try to, down the ball deep inside their territory. Obviously, you don't kick it away. You don't want any kind of a return.
No, you don't want any kind of a return because you're going to get those crazy lateral plays. And as we've seen in this game, strange things have happened. It's a weird game, and I wouldn't put it past ARC to just squib this or pooch kick it, let Sac City fall on it, and make them have to throw a Hail Mary.
I think the indicative, when I looked down, I was trying to see, it really was hard to tell. The ball kept trying to go far enough, and I looked down at the referee, and first he did the shrug emoji, and then he put his hands up, and I think that shows how he felt about the whole thing.
I want to know what a shrug would be. Like, what is that good, no good? Is it like, what do you get for that, 1 point?
I think he's just, I don't know how that happened. I think he's just going, I don't know. So right now, 5 seconds still to go in this game, and I'd say that was in the bag, but we've seen what just happened. So nothing is in the bag in college football here at American River College, Community College against Sac City, 15-13. We've had a 50-yard field goal, Jordan. We've had a safety. We've had everything here today.
Yeah, we really have. This has been if you have a bingo card of weird things happen in a football game, it's happened today.
Absolutely, including a lot of the things you have said. But we won't talk about that now. Here's the kickoff. And it is a squib kick right along the ground, picked up and dropped now by Sac City. And I think they're going to run the clock out right now. They got to put a body on them, and they do. Going down to the 35, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is the ball game. American River College has won the opening game of the 2022 season in about the most dramatic fashion you can. Zach Schreiner with a 50-yard field goal. And that makes the final score your American River College Beavers 15, Sac City College Panthers 13. We'll be right back with the post-game show, a happy post-game show with Jordan and myself, right back with ARC football post-game right here on the Stones Radio Networks.
Coach Will and the Beavers head out on the road for their next two contests. First, a trip up to the East Bay this coming Friday, September 9th, when they visit Laney College in Oakland. We invite you to join us back here at Beaver Stadium Saturday, September 24th as American River plays host to the Bulldogs of San Mateo. Thank you for braving the heat and joining us this afternoon and supporting American River College Athletics. On behalf of American River College Athletic Department, my name is Jamie Coffey. Have a great day. Travel home safely.
And we are back at Beaver Stadium here on the campus of American River College, where we have just witnessed Jordan Georgeson, one of the great comebacks, one of the great final plays that we have seen in a long time. Zach Schreiner out of Whitney High School. a 50-yard field goal that you and I both said, well, maybe they shouldn't try this, but they knew what they were doing. Just barely gets it over the crossbar and gets the Beavers exciting, a thrilling 15-13 win. I feel a little bit bad because Sac City played a heck of a game out there, especially their defense, and to have it come down to that and really come down to the misdirection pass to Ian Simpson.
Yeah, I think that was really outside of the field goal by Schreiner, which obviously is the game winner, I think that misdirection pass by Simpson is the play of the game. I mean, kudos to whoever drew that one up because it looked like it was over. It looked like American River. I mean, they barely moved the ball in the second half. They had to have less than 20, 30 yards of total offense in the second half up until that last drive. But they get that open pass to Simpson. And Whitney High School's producing a big win for the Beavers. You got Simpson out of Whitney. You got Schreiner out of Whitney.
Right.
I mean, he gets open on that sideline. That's huge. That gets them in position, and just a great win by the Beavers, a resilient win, and an ugly win is still a win. Good teams find a way to win bad games.
All right, before we address that, let's talk a little bit about Sac City. 3-7 last year. I did not see a 3-7 team out there today. Obviously, your offense is going to progress, but I think Partee might be the right guy for them. They're going to develop. They had a lot of guys go off the field with cramps and injuries and stuff, but their defense was very impressive. So it's hard to tell. I mean, every team in the community college ranks is talented, but I think that's a better team than 3-7.
I think that's a better team too than 3-7. Rivalries always get weird, and this one certainly was that.
Yes,
but the way that Sac City defense played, if they can play like that again, over and over again this season, they're going to find themselves with a much better record than 3-7. I see a team that can make a playoff game, can make a state bowl game. Just like I see that in American River. That Sac City defensive front was tough. And you got to think a loss like this, too, that's going to sting a little bit. That's going to light a fire under them for the rest of the season.
I think it will, and they play with a lot of passion already. Now we turn to American River College, and you look at it, and you had two quarterbacks. You had, Carlisle, and you had Lewis. Both played, varying degrees of effectiveness. Of course, Carlisle leads the last drive with that pass to Simpson, as you said. I don't know that they settled anything. I think that'll probably be a two-quarterback thing going forward. Offensively, Jacobs had a couple of decent runs. Tariq Parker looked okay. I don't think he played as much as I thought he might. Offensively, as far as the wide receivers, Freeman, of course, was spectacular all day in a variety of roles, and Grayson Barnes, and then Simpson, of course, with that play. But when you look at American River College, what stands out to you is something that, besides perhaps the defense, what stands out to you on the offensive side as something they can build on?
I think you do have potential especially in your running game with Carlisle. I think they just need to reel it in, and I think the quarterback that's going to win that starting job between Carlisle and Lewis is going to be the guy who can kind of get more accurate on those throws because both of them have shown they can be mobile. Carlisle a little more mobile than Lewis, but still, I think when a quarterback kind of separates himself and shows that he can make some of those throws, and if this pressure is going to be a thing all season long, if he can make those throws under pressure and be accurate, not be underthrowing, overthrowing, I think that's a quarterback that's going to win the starting job.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the receivers have to help there by getting a little more separation. But, I don't think, and, I'm not a veteran of the community college experience, I don't think you're going to get, we talk about problems with the protection, I don't know that you're going to get the caliber of the Sac City defensive line the entire season. Now, maybe you will. I mean, they've got a lot of great teams, but that defensive line really impressed me. What impressed me about American River College is they just never gave up. There were a couple of times when they turned the ball over in the fourth quarter, and we said, well, that's probably it. They came back and they stopped him, and then in the last couple of minutes they did that. They stopped him. They used their timeouts. They went ahead and stopped him, and they got the ball back and made the plays they needed to make. So I think basically you said it. It's an improbable kind of win, but that's the thing that impressed me most about them. They kind of believed, and they never really gave up, and then they got the big kick at the end.
Yeah, I mean, if you looked at the American River sideline too, they had such a hard time moving that ball, but you never looked over and saw the offense sulking or anything like that when the defense was out there. They were getting ready to go. They were ready to get back out there. They truly thought they could move that ball down the field and get that win. And, I mean, really, the other difference maker in this game, too, we didn't even talk about is the penalty over there that ended up forcing the punter to punt from the end zone that became a safety. And that's the deciding point in that one. Otherwise, we're going to overtime right now.
Yeah, there you go. So that's it from Beaver Stadium. 15-13, your final score. Mark the Phantom Low, Jordan Georgeson here for Stones Radio Network. Stones Radio Network's your home for American River College sports, at least the home sports all season long. I think our next event will be on the 9th It is a men's soccer game, so we'll bring that to you. We've got soccer, men's and women's soccer. We got volleyball that we're showing right now, or have shown the last couple of days, and we're back here on the 24th, and maybe even with Jordan, we're back here on the 24th when your Beavers return home to take on the College of San Mateo. So for Mark the Phantom Lowe, for Jordan Georgeson, for our producer, director, and our patriarch, Mr. Stones McCoy, we say thank you for listening to us. We